So if you're trying to finish a script, and certainly as a director, I mean, not that he was a writer, but if you're trying to work with the writers to conclude something, you're going to have huge problems trying to do that whilst working at very long days that we work as well.
Start with your chin down a little bit more, like he's a little lower than that. There we go. And
roll sound.
You want to take 5. And action.
Cut.
One more. It was a little bit too fast.
The first line is what? What is it?
Oh, you're telling me.
Yeah, so just give it a little bit of a moment, and then so I can just sit on this guy holding this toothbrush going. So if you tell me they're coming to take it away, but it's fine, that's what we want. If they don't feel like we want, at least to get rid of it.
All right, please.
He is extraordinary, utter total confidence, which he inspires from the people that he works with.
I would never have thought it was his first film. And where he's placing the camera, I've never seen it done that way.
His ideas seemed very cinematic. Even then he'd joke, he said, yeah, this is a sort of Hitchcockian bit, and here comes John Ford. And so there are all these little nods, and it was a lovely energy, it was the energy of somebody confident and someone who was a fan.
A sliver at the bottom of the 65mm frame is the ground, and then it's mostly sky. So we would do the split so that along, like the first, if you imagine that pretty much just to the left of where the turquoise, the tent is. Right. Just to the left is where the left side of frame is. Not very good weather for this.
Dusk.
Yeah, but dusk in a blue sky means no shoot.
It's supposed to rain this afternoon.
Okay, dusk in a blue sky means no shooting.
Yeah.
Okay?
Are we painting the sky?
No. Dusk in a blue sky. You can't paint the sky right along there. Okay, Ezra?
Gotcha.
We're cool on the concept now. We're all hip to this. You
tape.
saw it right here.
Dusk in a blue sky.
Ezra just
we'll
said,
shoot it anyway.
if it's a blue sky, we don't have to shoot. Right, Ezra? Hi, Joe.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that one. Let's see that.
Yeah, better?
That's it.
Guess the joke.
That's the one you want.
Yeah.
He's the only person I've ever seen David have reverential respect for is Jordan.
I like that a lot. Can I get something through that window in there? Okay.
But wait till you see it sprayed down so it's balanced.
Okay.
It would really be helpful to us if we could determine
Exactly
the
where the masters.
parameters of the shot.
All right. Well, let's get a camera here. I might see over as far as that, as where the paper is.
That's for close up.
Right, I understand. But if that was out of the way, I would see the muslin, wouldn't I?
Yes, you would.
Okay. Well, that would be problematic. So we can't get the same effect without going a little bit harder. Right?
And what amazed me, he conducted the whole unit from this monitor, He used to sit in this monitor and look at the film, and they'd say, just talking to the camera crew, he'd say, move the camera left, push it in a bit, make a mark there. This is all through the monitor, which amazed me. I'd never seen that before from a director.
I'd like A and B cameras on these, please. Can I see A and B? And action! Is that it? Okay, let's put in sync, guys. Total abandon now. I hope someone goes to see this movie.
behind cinema, and producer Arnold Kopelson team up with director David Fincher for Seven.
Very nice. Much better. Okay, here we go. I think we're ready. Here we go. Quiet now. And rolling. Marking. And action.
I think he figures, oh, what the heck, you know, let's give it a try, and has no sense of the degree that this game is going to change his life. The audience doesn't know any more than I do, so they're never ahead of you. You know, a lot of times you do pictures, you go, I don't know, I think they're way ahead of me, or they have information that the principal character doesn't have. One of the things that's really great about the game is that the audience doesn't know anything more than I do.
Who's behind this? Who did this to me? Why?
I have enough stress in my life.
It's not Gordon Gekko. It's not a guy who rips the heart out of his foe and takes a bite out of it before the guy dies. This is a guy who's maintaining a portfolio.
Yes.
Ostensibly, this is a movie about a guy who's dead, and then the last scene, he's brought back to life.
No!
His luggage is not there. I don't mind seeing some luggage back there, but not very much. Pretty sparse, pretty much what you see. And he turns, he walks over here. We track with him. He walks over. As we go through here, we cut. We go to medium security task force man. He'll be in a chair, like that, in a chair. Feet up on that. So Jack wipes in the frame here. We have single on Jack, single on the back. Cut to the two shot. Jack turns, walks over here like that. In the background, we see the red Camaro. And we see Tyler walk down the sidewalk, jump into the red Camaro, and take off. And Jack turns and walks out of the frame. We rack focus back to him. We see a guy running after him going, "It's my fucking car." We'll fix that later. We just have back. And then we cut back to this, back to the guy as Jack walks in and he says, "Oh, wait." Then we go back to the master as he takes the form. He takes the form with him and walks out. Back to the master as he walks away. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Okay. You want this high or low count? Like the inside there? I like that kind of there where you have on this side it's high and on the back side it's low enough that he can be upset. And he's on a pretty high chair. You know what I mean? Still should be comfortable, yeah. I would think it's actually those things that kind of center between these two, maybe slid slightly this way. This bush has to go away. We're going to track back this way. He comes in here, we tilt off. Right about here. And we see the fourth window down. Yes. Fourth window down from the top. Second one in from the right. Along the bike. With the bike. Those windows are actually gone. There's smoke machines inside it, generating smoke. It's coming out. I've got smoke machines in the fourth window down, second window open from the right. Okay. We have enough smoke pouring out that it looks like they just put a fire out here. I'm going to want to have a couple of flickering fluorescents just on the floor there. Just debris, the smudge pump around just so I have little things of smoke coming out from behind bushes and stuff. The doorman is here. He's talking to one of the police. He turns to this. He says, "Oh, you can't go up near your unit. The police is locked up." The rat focus to him in the foreground. He stops taking that back. He turns and he walks out. As he walks out of front, the doorman steps up into the foreground. We do a little slide back like this to see him. And he says, "Do you have anyone you can call?"
cut. You're done in here. Cuts back to him and he goes, looks at the camera for a second and says, all condiments, no food, how embarrassing. He bends down out of the thing we go to, low angle shot of him as he takes something you see over his shoulder or his POV clean, it's Marlowe's number, and then he stands back up and goes tracking shot. I continue out over here. There's a phone booth right here. We're going to do a half circle around the phone booth. I want one complete piece of track that comes out over the top of this. All the way around the 27 millimeter, ends up over here. We're going to bring him the whole way. So with those three setups, we kill all that stuff. Then we just have to shoot the over the shoulder and the low angle is easy. He leans into it, pick up the thing, he looks at it, and he's going to rise up into a shot. Man, we know.
What did you say had to go here?
Push.
Oh, the push.
Push is good. You guys know what to do. But I do have. No, I have a previs. I previs that we had this built in the computer. We figured out exactly how high we would have to be to get the back of the track out of our 185. So they have all the specs. They have all the specs. And they'll be able to tell you exactly how far away from the door and how far away from this. Too fast, too fast. Everything else is perfect. Action one, right away. Right away. Too fast.
On this
Yep. On the pan and the truck. Just get through this. The one thing we gotta see is that coffee stick. Good.
Will I be able to move through here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
You want to weld this out, you mean?
No. Or just to be able to take a steady cam through here?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out where the path is going to be when he comes in looking for space monkeys. And instead of it, it might be better for him to come here for the stove and then have so much activity in here that he can't get through that way and he has to sort of be forced to come back through here.
How much do you need for steady cam?
Oh, no. I'm just saying we weren't planning on dressing because originally we were talking about these could be
I
all
mean,
piled
no.
with stuff.
Right. No, we can
Just pack it up on the side so that I do have
Yeah.
room for
Because I've also got a window up here, which isn't shown yet, that's going to give light to this as well. So we kept all of this glass on this front.
Yeah, exactly. So it's something that's like in here when we want to, we can roll it down. When we want to really be able to see out, we'll stage a scene where we don't see it, and then we'll.
Hi, I'm transferring Scott.
There's some nice views now, like this stuff right all the way through here.
How you can always kind of just move and peek around.
Yeah.
Yeah, come back over. This neighborhood is basically the neighborhood that you see. It is not a suburban neighborhood. It is not. It is the outskirts of a completely industrial area. So there's nobody on the streets here at night. When he says, Tyler and I were alone for a while in every direction, it's like, we don't have to do anything with traffic. If we see one car going by in one of our shots, we're totally. Clifford.
Yes, sir.
See that factory back there?
Yeah. I mean that silver thing along there? The red lights?
You don't have to actually have anything coming out of the statue. You can have it behind it. You can have it in front of it, but I want activity. I want to look like
Something going on.
And just steam. That's all I want to see is steam.
Okay.
I want a car up on blocks behind that. We'll spot it from the front porch, but it should stay there. It's continuity for us. Okay?
During the day, we were saying that we were going to play that lot like.
The lot can still be there, but I want. But the one thing that I want that we always, the ringer thing that we do is that car up on blocks. I want a Vista Cruiser on blocks. So he takes a swig of beer and he hands it to Tyler. He says, "We should do this again sometime." And Tyler kind of looks at it, takes a swig of beer, and then later on when we cut to, he's having a flashback and he realizes he's Tyler now. We see him sitting here by himself and he takes a swig and he drops it in the bottle. So that will happen here. We can type bring it in on these pads and you'll be able to get up and look down on the house. And we right around that corner. And they have golf clubs and they're hitting balls into the highway. Put something really disgusting underneath
like a street light type, camp type thing on that side.
on this side. But I want a little bit of light into those trees back there, and possibly a practical back there that might, if we had standing water in the puddles, we just get a little reflection. But other than that, it's just blackness and top light, whatever's in here. And this should be hideous. And then we cut, and we see the whole bus in our 240 frame, and then the bus starts to pull away, and the camera booms up, and we realize that the bus has dropped him off right in front of his house. They're now that Tyler and Jack are so famous that all the like municipal bus drivers are like their taxi service. They can go anywhere they want. The bus will take them. So that's, we do that. The bus would pull away. We'd crane up, and we'd see him walking up into the front door of Papers.
So we're in the bus camera,
No,
or we're outside?
no, we're outside. We're probably right over here. We're probably on a 40, so we're a little bit flatter, not too wide. And our bus is blocking, so the whole frame looks like a bus. And then we see it's lit up inside. If he goes down the thing, and as he goes down the steps, the bus pulls away, and we do a little crane. So we probably chassis back here, so it goes straight. Maybe go back a little bit, it's fine. But I don't want to do this. Is this the same bus? Yeah.
They'll all be the same bus,
Yeah.
basically different advertisements.
Yeah. And then you're trespassing, and then I will. I like that. I go back down. I like going around. Okay. Okay. And action.
Sorry about the misunderstanding. It's not gonna happen. Not the end of the world, just go away. Go.
You do that as you're passing.
If you were trespassing,
Now this
we'll
should
have
be
to
a
call
little
the
bit
police.
closer to. Okay, show me B. Be rolling. Watch the scene. This is the front. I want to be able to cut to this.
Look, fella. I'm sorry about the misunderstanding.
I like that. You can lead.
It's not gonna happen. Not the end of the world, just go away. Go. If you were trespassing, I will have to call the police. Don't be a dick.
Okay. Hey, Mark. Okay, and one last one.
Where's your car?
Well,
car?
There's racks on top. Cases of film and stuff. Everything else in here is rotten as far as dressing is concerned. He's in a chair, he's got his feet up, he's going to do the thing. He's going to have one of those fluorescent lamps with a magnifying glass so I can see the pornography to begin with.
So you'll look at it through the...
Yeah, we'll see it like that. And then, so the scene's played from back here. We're kind of in this little cubby hole, looking this way, and we see this whole, we see the projectors, and we'll probably start on the projectors and pan over, and then Tyler will be center frame, and over on the left side of the frame is Jack, and Jack says, Tyler works sometimes as a projectionist. He's talking right to the camera. Film doesn't come in the whole blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it has to be done, you know, has to be shown in reels, and that's why you need the cigarette burns. Then we cut to low angle shot of Tyler. He's not even looking, he just hears it. He just points. We'll give him a little spot to point to, and he'll just point to that spot, and we'll make the little appear later in post. So he points up and he sees that, and then we cut back to the master, and Jack continues to speak to the camera about what it is. Tyler gets up in the background and walks over. I'm going to go to a little piece of coverage, either from here with the camera where we see Tyler put the reel up and start threading up the projector, or from here, I'm not really sure. But anyway, he's still moving left and right. He goes and does this. We'll have to give him some kind of little lesson ahead of time, how to at least get it in the film path. And then both these will have to be burning. Dowsers down, but I want to see it all spill. They work? Yeah. So, we may actually have to run them, so we should have somebody here to at least have one of them running, even though it's a total leak victim.
You get a part-time job as a projectionist. Now, a movie doesn't come on one big reel, it's on a few. So somebody has to change projectors at the exact second when one reel ends and another one begins. If you look for it, you can see two dots on the screen in the upper right-hand corner of the frame.
Boop. If you look for it, you can see these two little dots in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Boop. And only
What I want to do is try to keep this front light off this.
Right.
So using those lights over there to light the back half of, or light the trail for the ball. And same thing with that one back there. And then use these front lights just way down, just to poke into the other side of the ball, up into that path over there, and just give you a little bit of focus. Does that make sense?
You ready? We're hot. We're hot. Stand by. Roll cameras.
We are rolling.
See all around. Ready and action.
Go, Sean. Go, 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 go. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Okay, and action. Action. And action.
Well, you need that one. It's a duplex.
So if they go...
So if he's here, if he comes out, but he can't see, he has to come and look beyond the railing, and they're standing down here. Does it make it a better? Because when they're flat to him, they're flat to each other like that, it just seems like they're gonna see him out of the corner of their eyes. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And then he has to kind of go sideways, and he sees Ralph. Then he can see Ralph.
Okay.
Let's try that. Maybe what we should do is do it back over his shoulder, looking up at the video camera. He goes like this.
Okay.
So we see him
his hand.
out of focus in the foreground. You know, like on a 40 or 75. And we want to boom down just as he's taking the knife out. So we want to boom down right there. See, the thing is, you can get up. I think the up position is is strong. So let's put a riser on this, and then just start that much higher on the bottom of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And maybe what we could actually do is start in, push in a little bit tight around this way. No, I can't do that. So start in a little tighter and come back.
She's up the stairs and tilts over the rail.
Can we do that off a dolly?
No, because that wall can't come out. We're stealing it. There's no way to fit a dolly in there.
Okay, well she can start right here.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to start. So can we do it with the dolly if we don't?
No, because that wall's totally in the way.
But what I'm saying is, if you're Chinese on a dolly and you push it into it, I mean, isn't it the same thing? Okay. All right, fine.
I put a couple dollies in there and they hit the wall in another way.
So I slowed him down quite a bit.
Good.
So he doesn't run.
Cool. Done.
Yeah. That's a major.
And she goes up out of this. That's when we cut it, and we go into the other one.
So this doesn't even tilt up.
No.
Okay.
Keep some dignity. Pull the floor out. Put this in and shoot that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
I know exactly where the camera is, how far it's panned. I can measure 5 feet out, 2.5 feet from this line. With the camera right there, this is how high it is, this is how far it's tilted down. So
I'm gonna be drunk every fucking day. need all the NYC 2000s gone.
Gotcha.
And then I need somebody to take a spirit level to 69 and all those ones around it, just get them level.
Level all the signs.
Level all those signs. Do these come out? I'm gonna need leaves that'll take me back to the 67th Street turnout. And I need our own vehicles, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 20 vehicles.
Of the appropriate color.
I want all, I don't want any whites or any silvers or any grays. I want black, dark brown, dark green, no dark blue. I can have like a tan. I can have like...
No red?
No red. I can have like anthracite, like that BMW there. I can have a dark, I can have this kind of dark blue as long as it doesn't have a lot of color in it. Close up in the foreground, she says that son of a bitch is already leaving, blah, blah, blah. And then she exits frame. So it's just them probably walking from where this gentleman is into a close-up. You have a POV from here of Ian Buchanan at the stoop, through the trees. We're gonna have to do something about the excessive growth from this foliage, you see. So we'll start inside the railing, we'll come out, I may go. We have to platform over this, and we'll probably be about this height. And we'll come out to here, and we'll hold them at the bottom as they're looking up at... One question, if I'm shooting to the corner, you're gonna have all those signs straightened out?
Yeah, we're gonna straighten all the signs.
And you'll get rid of all those paper boxes.
Yeah.
And red boxes, okay.
See those two signs closest to us, the no parking right here on our street? Those have those signs on them because they're going to come cut them down because they put the post in crooked and we can't straighten them. So they're going to make them.
I think in front of the brick building is probably where we'll do where Lydia goes. That bastard, he's leaving already. He's leaving.
I think we're looking at it from down here somewhere.
Yeah, we're going to be down here, and we're going to see that, and I also need to see her from up here. Come, you know, oh, Evan, you were an angel. So I need to see that from up here. So that's why I need to exfoliate.
And also we had a
defoliate, exfoliate. And then I am going to do a shot from the bottom of the stairs where Jody comes up, takes a look around, and we kind of tilt up to see the house. Kind of a little place room on the other side.
We got ladders made up to take the one that's real wide ones that are strong. Reinforced.
This is old. This is old. The kitchen is new. I want, because I see so much of this stuff that's reflected in here, this is not good enough. Just tacking this up. I'm going to be down low a lot. And these fixtures, are we going to go with the trim line? Which one's the darkest? Okay, so I like both of those. Okay. But what I don't like is finish of this under here. So what I'm looking for is, I don't want to see screws, and I don't want to see gaps. And I don't want to see plastic things that are stuck to it. Clean this up. It would be nice. I would like it if this had like a cove to it. So this all gets waxed. We're going to see again, these windows are going to get drilled shut. So he's going to be doing this. And then the shades, I need the shades to start higher and drop easily all the way to the bottom.
Here's the steel, concrete, that's the floor of the panic room. And under that would be timber joists, old ones. And now we're saying lath and plaster.
I do think we need to do a wax, a buff wax.
Okay.
Like, you know.
Johnson's paste wax kind of thing.
Yeah, I think we have to do that because this stuff adds a beaded texture to it because and you need it to be slick. I think this should be out like about 3 or more inches from the wall. Looks a little done. Let me clean this up a little bit. We've got to look at the previs, Dan, of the transition from this room into that room for the platform set when we do the big track, because we are going to want to squeeze this wall in, so we will need a new wall.
Okay.
This is all good. This is all good. That's it. Thank you all very much.
But that's the kind of idea. Yeah, those are cool.
Here, I got these, Dave. No, but where's the?
Yeah, no, we'll do this later. We don't have to do this right now.
mean, right now it's in the way of the crane, so we're not even going to see it.
This is where she makes a little hitch step and goes, oh, that's here.
Hit disclosure with A or B.
Background and action!
Cut it! Playback.
Cut it!
Start. So you're gonna just blow past her, and you're gonna end up approximately in here, Joey, just to be able to see the reflection. And follow the climb.
Just like an elevator, there's one at ankle level also, so if someone's blocking it.
Action.
And action.
That's better. Okay.
Sound speed.
Mark.
Ready and action.
Oh my God. Old Sidney didn't miss a trick, did he? Oh my gosh. And the kid's like, he's a pony. Wondering what it is now. He's open.
Excuse me, that was highly inappropriate.
Open the door, please.
Cut it. Playback.
That's cool.
Cut it. Close your eyes. Are they closed?
She's running top floor, little girl. I got the mother.
Okay, so let's
Where
do
does
this.
she start to run, dude?
Here, I'll tell you. Here we go. You guys are looking up. And run.
Top floor, little girl. I got the mother. Give me that.
Actually, I wouldn't hand that gun to him like that. Let me see. Does it shoot myself? Top floor, little, like
But
that.
I'm gonna ask for it first.
That is dangerous. You're shooting yourself.
Out. Never shoot yourself. Ready and action. Ready and action. Once again, a little bit more of a hiss. You're in the elevator. And action.
Hey, they're in the elevator. Both of them heading down.
Cut it. Very nice.
No.
Cut it. Don't come in like this and then go like that. Come in like this.
All right.
Okay?
Hey,
am I leaning too far over? No. All right.
Again, I think that he understands acting extremely well, David. I mean, we went through a long rehearsal process of working on the characters and walking through the scenes, finding out what the characters were thinking. He would do rewrites based on some of those things, get the writer to come in and rework the scenes and tweak them.
Sound speed. Headroom and action.
You stay here. Nobody gets through.
You rolling? Rolling. Yeah, him and the BG, me and the photo. Yeah, move that filler a little bit.
See, the thing about working with Dr. Fincher is it's not the abuse gets under your skin, you know. It's not the verbal assaults. It's the fucking love, man. It's the fucking...
David has something to do with everything.
Did you get it? Did you get it? I almost fucking squeezed a tear out.
Just do a grid. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then it's just a decision of going, clawing this way to that. See, this. Okay, so this might be more dangerous than breaking that lamp here. If it bounces back off, if I'm going this way, it bounces.
But this is where the joists are running, right? Right. So you're not going to be able to clear into this. This way, at least
Well,
you're
you see
going to
they're
take
balsa
left.
wood?
Yeah, they're balsa wood.
But I mean, in reality, you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah,
in reality, you couldn't.
Plus, if you break them, they're all
Well,
white.
just
They look
clean
like
this
balsa
way,
wood.
yes. Just clean out. Parallel to the joist.
Or are you just trying to clear a hole in here and get up to see what the hell's in there and see the bottom of the thing, and then you end up going, clunk, clunk. Right.
What are you doing? Come in from below.
And Dwight.
What the hell are you doing?
talking steel and concrete. You're not coming in anywhere. And then you say, well, we'll see about that, Mr. Smarty Pants. And that's when you go, hey, and then you step forward. That's the only hay in the scene. You gotta watch the number of hays. It's POV from here, and probably tracking in this POV from here. Through the window, Adam as he comes forward. Reverse as he turns to look back at the guys.
And then overburn on Junior.
On the Junior.
And a single Raoul.
Yeah. And the single Raoul, I think, should be the next thing that we do. Because I think
Because you need ceiling pieces, yeah.
So let's do this. Let's go single on Raoul. Set, lock his continuity. A mark. B mark. And action.
What the hell are you guys doing? Tumbling in from below. No, you're not. Even if you get to the concrete, there's 2 inches of steel, you won't even make a dent. We'll see. What the hell are you doing?
Lead focus right here in the front. Fix that hammer.
Okay, go to his hand.
Two cameras served, I think, two great purposes. Number one, it kind of helped us catch up a little bit, giving us the ability of working a little bit faster, and then, or getting more shots, I should say. And then number two, giving David, multiple choices. But on the other hand, let me just paint a little picture for you about the challenges of two cameras. You're in a set, and you're in a set for an entire movie. You're in a place that has never really changed because it takes place all at night, all on the same night, and really nothing changes in terms of lighting. You have one camera, you're seeing the whole room, great. Now, you come back a week later and you decide to do a different scene. It's the same night, it's the same time of night, but now you have 3 people in there shooting with 2 cameras, and you've got to light them. Well, what happens to the room? Everything. Everything changes. So the hardest part for me was we had to create a continuity of lighting so that the audience wouldn't all of a sudden go, how come the room's so much brighter? And then, on top of that, add 2 cameras so that you're working in 2 different angles. I mean, one angle would be perfect. You could remove the ceiling and light from the top so that, we could create this soft top light. But what if the second camera was low looking up at the ceiling? It was the greatest exercise I think I'll ever have, honestly.
Cut it.
Cut it.
Check the gate.
Checking the gate. Okay, gates are good. That's a wrap. Thank you. Guys, the first shot tomorrow. This ball is out.
I don't get blown back though.
No. It's like
flash. It's like
boom. Yeah, exactly. No, it's like a big
away
sheet of flame, and it goes past you and burns your fucking face off. You know what I mean? Ready?
See me, yeah, I just want to see it. Rolling? Okay, and not yet. You're a little higher with your left hand, please. A little bit higher and a little bit to your right. No, the other way. Yeah, nice.
Ready? Here we go. Roll.
30 frames, speed.
Here we go. Ready and action!
Oh. I didn't like that.
Yeah. The whole thing has to be like 5 seconds. So this burns real time, but in cuts, No, I understand. Well, no, I'm saying, but I'm trying to now figure out what kind of timing they need to be at. Jared needs to be 1001, 1002, then he has to go back about 3 steps, 3 seconds. Well, you don't want 1, 2, 3, because we got to stage a master. So in the master, he's got to stumble back. All this shit happens, the thing stops, he's watching this, and he realizes that he's still on fire. And that's when he starts. That's when they grab and throw the shit on him.
5 seconds?
That's what it's gonna have to be about. All we're trying to do tonight is just boom, this thing happens.
Right.
So he's gonna stumble back. 1, 2, 3, bang, boom, it's gone.
Enough.
Yeah.
No problem. We got it. But I know what you're saying. From there to there is how long?
It's not 8 seconds. Because that's too fucking stupid.
Also, David.
The 2 places where you could be is watching him, and this thing is now spinning around and the hose is burning. Yeah, it's whipping around. But I think you just, I mean, this is like a grenade gets lobbed into the foxhole, and you're like, who's gonna fucking somebody do something? Can't you see this thing is burning?
Quiet, please.
Yeah, speed.
Speeding.
And 3, 2, 1.
Cut.
And
say when, Tom.
Hot and ready.
All right.
We are rolling cameras.
On action, Tom.
A speed.
T speed.
C speed.
Here we go. Ready and action. Cut it. Reset.
Stand by, guys.
Right here. About here.
Mike, everybody's ready?
We are ready.
Thank you.
Is effects hot?
Effects are hot.
Yeah. All right.
This is the mother load, man.
He actually was on fire with this blue flame mix, and that's how it read. So it was that safe that he can actually get close, you know, up to his arm, forearm, elbow, actually be on fire and still be safe enough to do the scene with the fire all in camera.
Hold up.
Yeah, you're on fire.
Oh, yeah.
He was happy. He got his stunt pay, I think.
So it's action. Yeah, exactly. Got it. And then immediately from that, what is he talking about? Yeah. Last one.
Hey, man, you're on fire. Oh, yeah.
And marks!
Don't you take a tongue with me, you jerkwad, because I'll shove it up your ass and snap it off.
Hey, you know what? You're a bus driver, Raoul. You live in Flatbush. You don't start spouting some Elmore Leonard shit you heard, because you know what? I saw that movie too.
Notwithstanding the budgetary advantages of 3perf, there were some drawbacks. The movement of the camera and the perforations of the film didn't always seem to jive very well, which created a rather noisy little situation. I think the technology of 3perf is great for television. It really is. But for film, it can provide some rather trying moments.
Say it to my face,
Here comes the smoke.
This one. This one?
It's bad.
What color has one?
Panavision?
Right away. Hold on, hold on.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
Smoldering in there.
Is that bad? I think that the 4 original cast members and David started to begin after a while to feel prisoner to the whole endeavor of making the film The Panic Room and the circumstances that that we were delivered into by Nicole first being injured on the previous film and then collectively throwing our fist into the air and saying hurrah when Jody accepted and came on board. And then again, I think when Jody realized she was pregnant and we all found that Jody was pregnant, and we were thinking, maybe we weren't meant to do this, actually.
Fuck.
Oh, for the,
So we'll do that. Don't fucking high-speed stuff. Going to the POV. The only other high-speed piece that I will have is them on the stairs.
10 footer here.
You just let me know, man.
there's no reason not to.
On every single scene that was shot inside of this house, every single scene was smoked up. In other words, we put in a layer of smoke. Now the key is to not make it register as smoke. You don't want to see any curves or outlines or anything along those lines. So it had to be atomized. And this is something that David liked because it muted the colors, any kind of detail. It muted the entire scene and gave it that feeling of the context of the movie. But even in the panic room, we smoked up every single scene. And it was, you know, it was bothersome to the crew, but they got used to it after a while.
Cut it. Is that okay, David, or anything you want me to change?
It's like that line up there where you go, what?
I usually don't read a script until I'm done with a film. I just find it a nuisance to know what's going on in the story.
There's more money at stake, and we should call this to begin.
I think I probably should have read it before I decided to do the movie. Yeah, I had no idea it was a comedy. All you need to do is watch Home Alone, and you've got it.
Okay, there's gonna be a lot of blood on this. The conduit's gonna pull the back. Now take it, just do some drops. Drop, drop, drop.
What are we doing?
Do one more.
And then hold still and action. Once again, you got to come over slowly. You're 22 frames. And action.
Both cameras simultaneously. Bring up the weather. Hold still, Jared. Little twitching, little bit. Not the eyes, just the lips. And drag. Got it. Check the gate. So we pan them over to here. These usually look, and then it goes like that. Right. Now turn to look into the doorway, Tom. There you gotta turn. Now you gotta turn your face around and face Bob almost. There you go. There you go, Dan. No. Once again.
Go Danny.
Yeah, go Danny. Yeah, I'll take it, Tom. Ready? And action. Turn and go to the door.
That's nice.
What's the dynamic here? The dynamic here is that guy wants to leave and that guy wants him to stay. So maybe that guy didn't want that guy to get shot. Here we go. Okay. Quickly.
All right, picture up. Here we go.
Fucking what? Clown? Idiot? Fucking asshole? Who's a clown now? Me. That's right.
It's difficult to maintain that kind of intensity all day long for 145 days. So you kind of have to figure out how to balance that because there's a lot of really specific, amazing technical shots that take time to deal with and set up, and you can't sit around just boiling in that. Like anything, every film is different, and you kind of find the right pace for the character to live in, the right space, really.
We're going to be on forest, doing this, and we're going to do it with the doubles. Okay. Wow. So we can do it at speed. Okay.
Mark.
Ready and action.
You pull any shit like that again and I'll kill her. I see a uniform in this house and I will cut her fucking throat.
down the steps. He goes over toward that corner, and they stop him as he's on the planter, and then they bring him back into the center. Over his hand. So that's when he takes the bonds out, do all the ground level stuff, and we go into the ground. Yeah. Okay, let's do
That shot had been, previous designed. It was so clear in his mind that I never even thought about coming up with an alternative ending or style or, why. He was so, of singular mindset on that.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop! Stop!
Okay, guys, walk away. Rehearsal's up.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like how edgy the lamppost is. But do you think it's too odd with the bush? Let's move. You know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna move Kristen all the way up to the edge, and we'll move Jody over.
Take 7, Mark.
And action.
2-bedroom with den or 3rd bedroom, 70s East.
Still like the West Side.
'61st and Central Park West, bank foreclosure, must sell, luxury doorman building, health club, concierge, executive services, no pets, no sublets.
No, thank you.
It's WEA mean.
West End Avenue.
81st and West End Avenue. 3 bedrooms plus den or 4th bedroom, spacious living room, family room plus office and or maid's quarters, cathedral windows, look out over.
Who needs all that space?
West 83rd, 2-bedroom doorman building, park block, partial views, bright and cherry flat, high ceilings, wood floor.
Yeah. Yeah, that one. Circle that.
Reloading.
Back to 1.
Copy that. Well coming out from back there.
Rehearsing. Background.
West 83rd, 2-bedroom doorman building.
I look like this cute. You're too close to them.
Another rehearsal or shoot?
No, we're shooting.
All right, shooting.
What's WEA mean?
West End Avenue.
81st and West End Avenue. 3 bedrooms plus den or 4th bedroom. Spacious living room. Cathedral windows.
You know that space?
Oh, how about this? West 83rd, 2-bedroom, doorman building.
West End Avenue.
81st and West End Avenue, 3 bedrooms plus den or 4th bedroom. Spacious living room, cathedral windows.
You need all that space?
81st and West End Avenue, 3 bedrooms plus den or 4th bedroom. Spacious living room, cathedral windows.
I mean, obviously, my dad has been a mentor, in my life photographically, but I have to say, so has David. He'd be a brilliant DP if he set his sights that low.
Which table is that?
David sets an unusually high bar for people, and I think a lot of times he gets, a bad rap because people think he's difficult or so tough to work for. I find him one of the easiest guys in the world to work for, but he does set a high bar, and if people don't like that, maybe they confuse, that high expectation that he knows everybody's capable of from what they're actually prepared to give out or used to getting away with.
This is the Zodiac speaking.
Okay, lock it there, Cam. Okay, push for now.
Gracewood's presence in this room is only because it's incumbent upon the editorial cartoonist to be part of the discussion of what the politics of the paper are, where the paper is leaning. But he's obviously, you know, the kid who has no business being there. So whenever he pipes up, it's like, don't you have something to do? Like,
You come in under the excuse of, oh, here, I got my thing.
Right.
It's finished.
And come to this side and just sort of slide it across the side.
That side?
I think this side right here. Okay.
Leave it.
It was grueling in terms of the mindset you have to be in. And particularly with David, he does lots of takes, you know?
Chloe?
Well, I never had to do 60 to 80 takes at a time. Not only to fine-tune performance, but also technical things, camera movements, lighting, background, whatever it may be.
So those people are late. They need to come.
David wanted everything to be just right, and everybody had to be at the top of their game and, you know, make sure every prop was reset in the exact place and the camera move had to be right. And, you know, he expects the best out of everyone on the crew, and I think you have to, you know, really step it up when you're around him and be really sharp.
That's a classic. Okay, good.
I wanted to talk to you about Zodiac.
I want to talk about Zodiac. Trepidatious.
I think the presenting of that information shouldn't be so hesitant. I mean, I feel like
We got
it's
him.
exciting. It's Dave Toschi. This is Zodiac, you know?
That's true.
But then I also know that
It is the greatest thorn in his side.
I can't meet with you. Wait, what's the
I
first
can't
one?
have more meetings with you to discuss
Wait,
what
wait,
you
I can't allow you to help. I can't allow you to help.
Can't allow you.
And I can't have more meetings with you to discuss what you might uncover.
People like Robert and Dave Toschi, they both want order and they both want a sense of purpose or a reason why things got out of control and chaotic and sad. But I think Dave Toschi was able at some point to make his peace with the fact that he wasn't going to find satisfaction. Then he was able to kind of say, I gave it as much time as it was due. And I don't think Robert was capable of that.
As they clear out of the way and Zodiac comes forward. Now, Hartnell said that he tried to get into the water, and that's when he raised the gun. The grade of this whole thing has to be like it is over there. It's going to get a little smoother on that side. You're going to put trees on it, or it's going to have this kind of dry brush that's not this one.
I'd picnicked at Lake Berryessa and stuff when I was a kid. Zodiac Island doesn't look like it did then. It's cut away a little bit more by the water, it's eroded, the trees are gone, and we had to reconstruct it.
This was where the tree used to be, and it's now going to be right about here. Okay, so the tree that the man is hiding behind is where? Right there. At tree number 3. Okay.
I'm amazed at the authenticity of the movie. They've just gone overboard to make it as accurate as possible.
The contours of the lake had changed a bit because of the heavy rains of a couple Januaries ago. And Captain Narlo, he's come out of retirement, he's going to show them where the murder site is. Now, I've been up there a lot of times, but it was sort of changed. So he says, yes, there's the murder site where the young couple was stabbed, there's a picnic table, there were 2 oaks here, and so on. And Fincher looks at it, and he listens for the sound of the traffic on the bluff above. He looks at the line of sight. He feels the ground. He yells to see if his voice carries. Then he suddenly, without a word, goes around the inlet and comes out onto the peninsula. And he does the same thing, listening for sound, seeing what can be seen from the bluff and so on. He comes back and he says, the murder site is over there. And Narlo goes, my God, I took you to the wrong place. He had deduced this. And I thought, my God, that's an astonishing deduction. I've been there, the man who originally investigated the case, and within 5 minutes he'd figured that out.
Now, Zodiac had to, the way that he found them was he was driving up this road and he saw their car parked by the side. And so he got out of his car and he listened and he could hear them and he walked down and that's what killed him. Then he came back up and rode on the car door, got in his car, turned around and went down that way to Napa. And we telescope out and drop down and see the side of the... There, let's start like that.
Fincher has the kind of mind that would have made him an incredible criminologist. He simply doesn't stop asking questions. He says, I'm not making this film if I can't talk to that family member, if we can't find that document, if we can't go to this scene, if I can't have this and this and that. He has a very strict requirement to making a great film, and he's not going to do anything second-rate.
Got it? Check that E. That E is not right. You gotta check it.
You know, we cut them and brought them here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even think they were real.
Yeah, they're real trees, and
Helicoptered in, right?
helicoptered them in.
I spoke with Brian Hartnell. I wanted to be able to kind of say, look, will you interface with us? And I'd like to send you drawings of how we understand it, and I'd like you to correct them. He said, fine. And so I started doing storyboards, and I was having all the storyboards drawn from the point of view of Brian Hartnell. He's on his back, he's looking up. He sees Cecilia, who's either in the crook of his arm or across his chest or his abdomen. She sees somebody off to his right. He turns, he stands up, and he looked at him and he called me back and he said, you know, I don't see it from my point of view. I see it as if I'm standing 10 feet away watching both of us. And I thought that was such an interesting thing that, in a weird way, maybe his disassociation from it is the saving grace, you know, because if you really had to confront the fact that somebody pre-cut lengths of cord, drove up and down this one little stretch of road, probably for hours, to try and find the right people, it would probably make you a little bit nuts that the world could serve up a left hook like that. And he couldn't be further from that. You got to get that gun a little lower.
I was dispatched to the scene along with my partner, Deputy Ray Land. We arrived at the scene to find Cecilia Shepard and Brian Hartnell, the two victims, stabbed multiple times at Lake Berryessa.
Okay. A little bit too far to your left. Yeah.
I went to aid Cecilia Shepard. She was going into shock. She was talking very broken. I asked her to describe the Zodiac, and she said that she saw him before he put his mask on because he was within 45 to 50 feet away. And she gave a description of him being sloppy looking in his dress, overweight in appearance. Now, the importance of what she told me was that she left in the ambulance with Brian and she became unconscious in the ambulance, and later at the hospital, she did pass away. So she is the only person that ever saw the Zodiac face to face that could describe him before he put his hood on.
Boy lived, the girl didn't. Again. God, could you imagine surviving something like that? What the hell is he doing?
He's actually really,
You know what?
astounding at this. I'm really good at inserts,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you something, they're gonna save my performance, so.
Yeah, it's the masters we have to throw out. We got all the inserts.
Reveal. Good, continue.
And in his letters, they're colorful, they're movie-based. His entire motivation is based on a movie. He had a turn of phrase, a way, the misspellings, the kind of writing, the ciphers that no one has ever been able to break, the predicting his own crimes, the electronic bombs he designed, his threats to kill children. He struck such a note of terror.
And sweet Christ on rubber crutches. Is that what he looks like?
Imagine that this house in that period, the kitchen would have been outside. So all the food's prepared here and it goes into the warming pantry.
Background and action. For each new morning with its light, for rest and shelter of the night.
I think you hear them clap. Okay. And then you cut. Here you go.
Benjamin, might I say you are looking strikingly youthful.
You ran like Charlton Heston. I have to have you run a little bit straighter. Here we go. Back to one. Sun's out. Let's go. Here we go.
Watch this. You think you're so great. Can you do that?
Okay. So Jared,
not quite at the eye line that you gave me. Was that right?
okay, no, you're looking at him when he stands up, look at his face, and then look at his feet, and then look back at him like, you got to, like, what?
The tugboat. It was called the Jupiter, but I think David found out that I was a Manchester United fan, so he changed the boat to the Chelsea. Just to wind me up. Anybody want to make $2 for a day's work around here? Nobody wants a job.
I do.
Got your sea legs about you, old man?
I do. I think.
I think he is 40% left, 40% in the frame left, and then as the car pulls in.
So for me, what was amazing about him, and also slightly alarming, was that he has all of it. He's not afraid to continue to challenge you. He has very specific ideas.
We do one more pickup. Okay, cut, reset, straight away. All right, once again, here we go.
I think people are frightened of him. I think he's got a reputation for, if you're not really brilliant at what you do, you will be found out and I will rip you to shreds, you know, take all your clothes off and beat you with a stick. I think that's unfair. I didn't really see that happen, but he knows what he's doing and you can't really pull the wool over his eyes, and he's quite direct. If someone says they can't do it, he'll go, well, why? And that can be unnerving, you know?
Turn and let me see your look. Okay, step it back. Just work with Mark and retard this. Okay, Pete, slide 3 inches to your right. Can we go further? No, a little bit more left, if anything. Yep.
The thing that David has in spades is rigor. You know, he's a perfectionist, but not for its own sake.
My manager warned me, my agent warned me. I heard other actors talking about, man, David does, man, 40 takes just to open a door. And I'm going, wow, really? I'm kind of getting a little nervous. I was coming down some steps, and the shot was just on my feet. We did that at least 20 times. I'm just going down the stairs. Nope. Going down. Nope. Not that kind of step. More of this kind of step. Try it like this. You know, going, wow, like this is really specific. But I got it because, you know, he's telling the story even down to the feet.
I think the bench has to go camera left a little bit. Greg, 6 inches, camera left.
Camera left on the bench, 6 inches, please.
Nope. Stop, camera left. Other leg, stop. Greg, can't there.
I didn't count most of the time how many takes I'm taking. He's the director, he knows what he wants. If you don't give it to him, then, you know, if it means that he drills it out of you, then why not?
You gotta be what you're meant to be. And they happen to be a goddamn artist.
You're a tugboat captain.
I've done lots of independent films and you get like 3 takes or something, barely. They actually hardly can afford to do 1 take, you know, on some of these things now. So I loved it. You don't get to act that often as an actor. You know, most of the time you spent waiting. I loved the amount of time, the amount of takes. He'd let you go until you felt that you were happy, he was happy, you know. I loved it.
Most times in film, you get your takes and you go away and it's like, God, I wish I could have tried it this way. But with David, you have enough time to try it as many ways possible.
Finch lets you go through the whole gamut, like, so if it's like, you know, you're my son, it goes from, it would go, we did like 30 takes and using it as an example of the scenes, but I'd be like, you're my son, all the way down to, you're my son. And the whole arch that takes you through. So you get to try it in every single way, and then Finch just takes the 35th take, which was the really simple one, which you probably should have done in the first place. But he kind of lets you exercise your need to act.
So tries you can go a teeny bit slower. Yeah, 0.8%. We are rolling.
You do the math.
And action. No. She really gets up ahead of speed. And the sun came out. Okay, here we go one more time. TJ, you left a little bit early. Let him get a little bit over to the pile of leaves. Let him go like another 10 feet. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we lost you there. Got it?
We're being called into the principal's office.
Come.
Now, what is that? I'll take that one. We can do better. Here we go. Once again.
That's what I'm saying, don't. Go back to base and talk to Brad. See how things are going. Give me a half an hour. It's 7:15. Just trust me. Be best for both of us.
Where did Brad go? Well, you've already done it. No, I didn't. So we're going to go right from you sitting and then dissolve and you'll be asleep.
I think so, right?
Okay, then that's fine.
Is that 2-7?
But no, I think it should be something that can evolve and dissolve into. Just slouch over thinking about it,
yeah,
and then we can dissolve and you'll be asleep. You know what I mean?
All right.
Just sort of have some kind of
fantastic, amazing
screen direction.
The way his mind works.
And Crazy Irish Ranch.
Check his hair. Rip Van Einstein. Looks like it's on fire. Looks like Barbara Bush. Go with it.
The thing that I found fascinating about shooting digitally, which I hadn't done before, is that you develop a different performance rhythm. And I think I'd been used to the celluloid rhythm where you do a take or two, you stop to reload, the actors decompress. Sometimes they go back to their trailer because it's going to be, there's a malfunction with the camera. Whereas once you were on set with this film, you stayed there the whole time, which meant that it was more like a theatre rehearsal. And oftentimes we would shoot the rehearsals. So it wasn't necessarily that we did take after take after take. It's just that we harnessed the rehearsal time into the performance time. I want this. I want it with you.
I won't deny you that.
I want to be a father. I don't want to be somebody's bird.
We had been talking about doing Benjamin Button long before Babel, and actually before The Fountain, because Kate was originally going to do The Fountain with Brad. And so, as my movie would fall apart, I would, somebody would say, "Hey, did you hear? Brad's doing this movie with Darren Aronofsky." And I'd say, "Oh, great, yeah, with Kate Blanchett." And I'd be like, and then that would fall apart. And I'm sorry about that, Darren. But gleefully. And then came Babel, which when I saw, I didn't think was treading anywhere near in the area of Benjamin Button.
But that's not just the problem, it's also this. It's not a
The rapport that they have was very much like siblings. Well, he's totally juvenile, which is, of course, why we get along. And she is so prepared and thoughtful, and she's taken notes, and she's done this and that. So they're wonderful together. They're just so easy.
You don't turn his opinion of it. It's just, if we're going to acknowledge it, let's acknowledge it. Here's the thing. It scares the shit out of me. I don't want to create my own babysitter. I don't want to create a burden for somebody else.
Isn't that what it is? It's an elaboration on that thought.
I think that I'm going a different way. It can be the thing that leads into we all end up in diapers. Doesn't matter which direction we're going.
We all end up in diapers.
No, how do I not become a burden to this?
The feeling out process was way over. So in that way, I was glad that they were in Babel, even if it was kind of the pairing of them was really my idea.
And roll, please. We're rolling.
In between my movies with Brad, I forget how just stupid the world is around and about him. I guess because I know how uncomfortable it makes him, I guess I just sort of hope that it's receding or in some way diminishing, because it certainly doesn't make his life any easier or any more enjoyable.
And then door opens, boom.
We were shooting this commercial in downtown LA. It was the middle of the night, and we'd shut down most of the street. And I was talking to Brad as he sort of stepped off this curb, and these two women who were walking were intent in their conversations, and they realized that they were about to run into somebody, and they both turned and they looked at him, and they both dropped to their knees screaming. And he sort of reached, I think he thought he had tripped them or something. He sort of reached over to touch them, and they both sort of recoiled from him screaming. And then they got up, and then they stood there unable to move, screaming. These weren't 17-year-olds. These were late 20s, early 30s.
Okay, here we go once again.
These are responsible adults. These are not. And it was just, it was horrible.
Yeah, very nice.
Camera right. Keep going. There you go. I need somebody there. And act. Kate is so stunning to look at that you can literally lose minutes where you just find yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. I came to your trailer and I was going to talk to you about this thing, and I can't remember what it is, so I'll come back. You literally lose some moments of your life where you're just sort of.
You have speed?
Yes.
And action.
I think it's a girl.
And cut. Very nice. So, Kate, do you think, so it doesn't, I guess it doesn't bum you out at all that he doesn't chime in with yeah, that's great. No, I guess not. You're just riding. Because the next scene is basically.
The next.
No, I know. In the next scene, you're going to say, I'm not going to, I want this. I want this more than anything. So I wish I could have reservations about it, but I don't have any. You know what I mean?
No, I think I do. But
Yeah.
it's just, I think
There's so many beats where I could play.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many of these little vignettes where it's like, you sort of think
No,
sometimes
no,
you're
no,
like-
I'm not looking for that. I'm just wondering, I kind of like the idea that you're so on top of the wave that maybe you don't even sense
I see sense in trying to bring him
back.
Yeah.
Trying to
I
bring
see
him
what
back
it is he's looking at.
instead of
And I say, come on. And then what happens is over a course of months, this continues on. So then we have to have dinner and say, okay, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Okay, I can deal with that.
So the diner sequence though is shortly hereafter, maybe a week later or something, and it's. I don't think that it's okay. Wait a minute. What's the deal? It's. I can see that you're troubled.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, believe me, I am not trying to hide it at all." And you say, "I got enough enthusiasm, and I want this enough for both of us."
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if I can't kind of see it as the glass half empty. Like
Because the very fact that I'm looking at what he's looking at means that I'm registering the problem.
But I also think you can see it in two different ways, which is sometimes it's wonderful to do things that you're not necessarily comfortable with because they show you great new things. So I look across the aisle and I go, that's going to be great for you. That's going to be great.
And I think,
Yeah.
like we were saying, the power of my positivity is that I can just drag him along with me.
Yeah.
Because in the diner scene, it's not like I...
You're the sperm donor I want.
Yes.
Okay, good. Here we go.
And...
As I was watching, I was thinking, you know, they are something special. They really, to look at, they are beautiful, beautiful people. And when he finally croaks looking at her old face, that will be irony.
Cut. Very nice. That's good. It's better. Cut.
How slender can we make this?
Pull snaps you back. We have to keep that. Yeah. Stay right with him. You can think, you can talk just as fast as he can. Just resist the impulse to hang on that. It's like, yeah, we should ask. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Please, let's not have any of that. I saw a knit cat. I saw this knit cat right here. You guys see our cat? No. There's no reason on a shot like this ever to have a boom shadow. Ever. For any reason at all. What happened again?
Better lawyer up, asshole. Because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
Can I try right back and I'll lose in the maze of the real fattening temps that I'm in.
This can all be boiled down to
The Winklevoss twins are saying you stole their idea.
I have to be mildly annoying.
They find it to be property theft. Why didn't you show this?
It was addressed to me.
They're saying we stole the Facebook from Divya and Narendra.
I know what it says.
Did we?
Okay, alright, okay, my first note about the scene is I don't buy his, I like the shorter one, what were their names? I find it to be a little, I'm CEO bitch. I don't know how that connects. To me it feels oddly like a dangling participle here.
Okay, if we only hear that once, which we do earlier, is that enough for the payoff at the end?
I think so.
Okay.
I want to get through this fashion thing a little bit.
All right, let's do the fashion thing first.
Okay, so I'm just saying you cut one of the fashions. What fashion? Fashion's never finished.
It won't be finished, that's the point. The way fashion's never finished.
What? Fashion's never finished. You're
Okay, so
talking
cut
about
that fashion.
really you.
Hang on, cut that fashion.
But then you're on set for 70-something days, and he's in charge of executing that. So it made sense retrospectively that he would be so insistent upon finding what was under everything.
All I'm saying is that I'm CEO bitch. To me, doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be for the girl who lacrosse captain. I'm CEO bitch is anybody who looks at a 21-year-old who says, I invented this great thing. And they go, isn't that great? And of course we want you on our board and we want your ideas further and we want to have like a relationship with you. But now you can go the home because we're the pros from Dover. We know what the we're doing with this thing and you're finished.
Okay, and
he's
I
saying,
don't want to take their time with this.
Yeah.
But do you think that do we run the risk of people saying, wait a second, am I supposed to, feel empathy for a guy who, he may not be taken seriously, but surely somebody cut him a check and he's 21 and he's got a few $1 million in his pocket. I'm supposed to feel empathy because the big guys weren't taking him seriously?
No,
I could
no.
definitely feel empathy for a guy who got, really wronged by a girl.
But he did get wronged by a girl. If you look at the first scene, the last thing
He didn't. Sean did.
I'm not talking about a dating site.
Whenever there's something that might be a damage to his ego, just splash it right on. It's like quickly put out that fire. Of course not. I don't like rowers, giant, strong, rippling biceps.
The third and fourth days of filming, we filmed the first scene of the movie, and it was probably the greatest experience I've ever had as an actor up until that time.
And Jessie, when she says, we're not dating anymore, I'm sorry, is this a joke? Really, everything needs to stop, and I need to really focus on this for a second, and I really need to understand what it is you just said. And it doesn't have to be fast. I mean, you want to be on top of it, but speed-wise, you can modulate that down, so it's like, oh, take it easy. Because that's almost more annoying. When somebody goes, take it easy, you go, oh, they care. It's like, whoa, take it easy.
Oh, it's like patronizing.
And it's not intentional, it's just like, you're hysterical. It's like you just like go, no, but I'm gonna be. Give me 5 seconds.
It was really, for me, like kind of finding who the guy is who I'm going to be playing for the next few months. And unfortunately on this movie, I haven't had that same great feeling of discovery and creativity. That was really like the peak.
This is serious.
I was hoping that kind of would sustain, but I realized there's no other scene in the movie that lends itself to that kind of satisfying acting experience, because it's a unique scene. It's the opening of the movie, and it's 10 pages, and it introduces Zuckerberg. So there was nothing that I had to account for leading up to it, except for what I wanted to bring into it.
Rooney, you can really wind up on, yes, there is. That can be extremely pointed so that it really makes him go, I have to stop and note that for a second. That seems like another kind of communication, more than just words, which is really where I'm sort of more comfortable in. Just like this whole riptide thing is making me a little freaked out. And also, I like the fact that you're never loud. I just feel like the last thing, you're an asshole. It should be almost the quietest thing that you say in it. So it's like, I'm gonna leave you a little secret about yourself, but you should remember next time you look at yourself in the mirror, and that is, you're an asshole. The only reason that you're here to begin with is that there are times when the shit that he says is sort of funny and interesting. And he is sort of funny and interesting, and he is damaged goods, but it's also like, you know what? I'm done making this work. Here we go, Ann.
Did you know there are more people with genius IQs living in China than there are people of any kind living in the United
That
States?
can't possibly be true.
It is.
What would account for that?
Well, first, there's an awful lot of people living in China, but here's my question. How do you distinguish yourself in a population of people who all got 1,600 on their SATs? As an actor, I prefer to do scenes like that every day. I mean, I really feel stupid when I go home and all I did all day was like walk from one building to another. Maybe because I used to do a lot of plays, and when you do a play, you do the whole thing, so you go home at night kind of with a sense of accomplishment that on movies, often you don't have that same sense of accomplishment because, you spent the day picking up a knife and the shot was on your hand. But that scene really you felt sated at the end of the day.
Cut.
It wasn't like he was really going to finish eating, but he had to sort of put everything in place. It's this thing of like, I'm going to take a drink, except now I hate beer and I'll never drink beer.
Right, exactly.
Because it's ruined, you've ruined it for me. I hope you're happy. Here we go.
Let's have you have one table over there and two tables over here. And you have one table over there and two tables.
Everyone who's wearing glasses, come on in.
Get you some beers. We get 2 beers here.
And make sure they drink their beers. Not tugging it. I saw them drink the beer, but make sure they really drink it.
We should do one with these guys where everybody talks. And again, they shouldn't get too hysterical.
Wonderful.
Okay, so let's do one like that.
The last rehearsal was really good. The previous rehearsal, a bunch of you started a cheer, like a game or something like that. Refrain from that. Do not do that. We don't have any sports games going on, okay? But everything else is good.
Yeah, the first take we did, David let all the people in the bar speak, so that was another reason it was so satisfying, is because he tried to create a sense of realism beyond what movies logistically warrant by having all the extras in the scene speak at full volume and be saying things that you would have to account for as an editor, that are not period things, or not things that you'd say in Boston, or not things that people who go to Harvard say.
Sometimes you say 2 things at once. I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to be aiming at.
You've seen guys who row crew, right?
No.
Okay, well, they're bigger than me. They're world-class athletes. And a second ago you said you like guys who row crew, so I assumed you admit one.
Well, I guess I just meant I like the idea of it, the way a girl likes a cowboy.
For me and Rooney, it lent this great sense of, at its most base level, having to speak at a high volume, but at a more psychological level of feeling like you're actually in this bar and feeling like you're actually kind of yelling at this girl who's breaking up with you, and it's confusing, and you're hearing other people talk, and that's confusing too. And all that stuff kind of adds to the full experience of it. And we did it 99 times. We didn't do it 100 times for some reason. He didn't want to do it one more time just to hit 100. But yeah, I loved it. Every time I've done a movie, I'm like, how are we only doing 6 takes of this?
Well, the only thing we have left tonight is the close-ups.
And then what?
And that's it for tonight. And then
tomorrow we have
tomorrow we'll do the POV of the door guy.
But we're done with the dialogue, really? After tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting through it pretty fast.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Good.
It's kind of scary because as an actor, you always want it to be new and fresh and to feel spontaneous and real. And you're like, well, God, like after 10 times, how is it possibly going to feel spontaneous? But like it really, even at take 99, we were like, let's do one more. Like it never felt stale. It always felt really fresh. And I think that's because we were getting so many notes.
Try to help him along.
Okay.
Try to help him have a good time.
Okay.
And is it anybody or everybody? Is the Final Club that's easiest to get into the one where...
Anybody.
Anybody. Yeah, I think you're saying everybody.
Okay.
There was going to be no improvisation on this. You can't do that with this kind of script. It's just a little too dense and language-oriented. There's got to be a precision of language while casualizing the language.
In.
What is that supposed to mean?
Wait, take it easy.
What is it supposed to mean?
Erica, the reason we're able to sit here and drink is because you used to sleep with the door guy.
Okay. You know that opening scene? We shot both of our coverage at the same time.
Tilt up.
You kind of have to do that with Sorkin's dialogue because there's a lot of overlap and it's happening really fast.
Come on.
I have to go study.
You don't have to study. You don't have to study. Let's just talk.
I can't.
Why?
Because it's exhausting.
You slammed the door on me.
I'm leaving. I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
See you in LA. Good luck with everything. Thank you.
Only 99. We did it frugally. All right, get some sleep.
Thanks, Steve.
We knew that getting the right cast was going to be crucial, that all the characters in this movie are very young, so we weren't going to be able to hire anybody with a couple of decades experience. It meant we were going to have to hire the best young actors that there were. And because it was a David Fincher movie, there were no shortage of volunteers.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a handsome cast.
That looks like my dad's old bag, and I like that. I could have inherited this from my father or something. Yeah, I like that. Because I think the family is a really big part of my life. So a reminder of that is kind of perfect. What finger would I wear this on?
I think right is, I should check one of the girls that works with me is Brazilian.
I have to get some soap now.
I feel like this is good. I just feel like simple and it dates it a little bit. And I feel like just him. And in terms of book bag, do you feel like this one?
I'm fine with that. Just make it look a little more worn in. Take a sander to it. You know, some French fries.
I read the script, but it was given to me confidentially because I think they wanted me to audition with one of Aaron's other scripts, like The West Wing or something. They were having preliminary auditions like that, and I didn't want to do that because I thought it would be not in like my interest to do that. You know, I don't think I would like come off well, and I thought I could do the part well, but I never thought they would cast me for this because it's such a big, wonderful movie. And then they let me audition with the pages, and I just made a tape in a few hours with my sister, and then I thought the tape was terrible, so I just forgot about it. And then I found out like 2 days later, like they wanted me to fly to California to meet with David.
You come up to find a place where you can purge, and then and be careful not to use too many hand gestures to frame what it is.
Right.
This is all about the head.
Okay.
This is all about what the head sees. And watch the coming off the wall to like make just it's more like boom, he's here and he's
a stump speech.
Yeah. And kind of give the information without looking at him so that then when he says I can't feel my legs, I know. It's like that. Oh,
right, because I didn't read his.
Yeah, that is exactly it.
Okay. The character is very bright, very introverted, which often appears as disinterested or kind of dismissive of those he's with, but his own mind is just working in a different way, whether it be more quickly than the people he's speaking with or just thinking about other things. You know, he's distracted, but not in a way that hurts him. He's just distracted because he's so focused on things other than what's happening right in front of him. People want to go on the internet and check out their friends, so why can't I offer a f***ing shit? Why not? Yeah, so why not build? Sorry, David. Sorry. Yeah, I've watched everything that's available to watch. I've seen every picture that's taken of him. But it's weird when I get onto the set, that all seems to be irrelevant because you're focusing so much on the scene and the story, and that seems to always take precedence. So I had plans of how I'm going to set my jaw and how I'm going to speak and all this stuff, and you get it in there a lot, but those little, they're called like externalities in acting school. Those sometimes just get in the way and they're not helpful to the story, and it's just showy in the wrong way. And also David, when we were doing the rehearsals, I kept asking him, can I dye my hair red? Can I, can I have this, and he would always answer me in his usual way, which is just imagine what it's like to be 20 years old and have created this thing. And then it always came back to the stuff that I wanted to focus on, which is, what's kind of driving him internally.
Aren't they supposed to be bonded in their outsiderness? And Eduardo did the worst thing he could possibly do, get into the Phoenix Club without Mark. He left Mark behind. I think that's a big part of it, that Eduardo went and got cool. An unspoken crime is being committed here.
Wait a minute, but the unspoken crime has to do with the inequity of the universe. This college experience is not about it's all open to you because you got into Harvard. That was all a lie. So he's seen the travesty of the whole thing, which is I worked and worked and worked and worked to do this thing, and now I'm here and now I've got to work to do this other thing that I've never put any time into, which is how do I tie a full Windsor? How do I go to a cocktail party? I don't know how to do that. And he walks into this Caribbean party. And he goes,
absolutely.
I gotta get out of
here. He looks at the lamest party in the world, and then, Eduardo, I got something I gotta talk to you about. Okay, it's like a final club except we're president. That's it. I just don't think that Mark soon forgot that while he was inventing Facebook, Eduardo was punching the Phoenix.
That's fine. But if you woke him from a dead sleep and shook him by the lapels and said, why do you f***ing hate Eduardo? He would say, I don't hate Eduardo.
Right.
It probably was a diversity thing, but so what?
Okay, and I want to make that so you're so cold you don't want to move because when you move the camera moves.
Yeah, no, that's
and then
nice.
it's like, yeah, no, good. It sounds really good.
Yeah, right.
And then when you're here, he says it probably was a diversity thing. So what? And it's like, okay, I don't really know how to feel. But I'll feel differently about this, I'm sure, 5 years from now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
I don't mind the cold, right? Because Zuckerberg doesn't feel anything.
Yeah, he doesn't feel anything.
One of the first scenes we filmed in Boston was where I come up with the idea for Facebook and I'm explaining it to Eduardo outside, and we were actually filming it in freezing New England, and it just lent so much to it.
Holy shit, it is cold. That's great.
Keep your warm boots and stuff on. We're gonna do a walkthrough. Okay. Oh, you need ridiculous hats. So.
What do you mean ridiculous? I look good in this shot. Right?
No,
you're making me look cool, right?
Yeah.
How's that?
I think it's really terrible.
In a fantastic way.
Epic. It's epically terrible.
Oh, can I have my slipper?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
What are the 3 lies? Mr. Dowd.
The first, shit. I was preparing to expose the entirety of my body to whoever was on set that night.
Mr. Sabrin.
1. Harvard was founded in 1636, not 1638. 2. Harvard was not founded by John Harvard. 3. That is not John Harvard.
Who is it?
Friend of the sculptor, Daniel Chester French.
You can keep your jacket on.
Cut, moving on. Cut.
He's gonna keep his clothes on.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
Oh, really? He let me off very, very easily. I think I had my tie off, and that was it.
I think your tie is on the ground.
Oh, that's so humiliating.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's you drop some. Your bra. Your bra would be gone.
No, just throw up. That's the joke.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Cut. Very nice. Cut.
Right.
Just left, right. We're gonna go.
And action, guys.
What's that guy in the back doing?
It's a crew member. It is?
What's he doing? Seriously.
I asked him about that. Hey, Neil. What's the guy in the background doing?
Hold on, you gotta see this. Play back.
He was doing like an 8.
Yeah, play it back.
Scratching.
Tell him to move the table 8 inches camera left. Downstage 1 looks like it has to go up on the camera right side slightly. Go ahead and level them out.
Yeah, but this one's pretty spot on.
It is? Okay.
Yep.
Let's pan right a micron. Cut right into the wall. There you go. Tell the guy with the computer in his lap that his job is to push the buttons. That's the only way that this works. It's not air power. Pepper shaker needs to go 3 inches camera left. The Coca-Cola can needs to go behind it. Turn the computer so that it's facing us a little bit more. This far left thing, all this crap needs to. What is that? Is that a sign?
Yeah, I'll lose it.
Lose that. We're gonna put a person in there. Okay, good.
And now the angle of the middle screen, tip the top back away from you, closer to the wall, just fractionally.
Here we go, roll.
The kid is not in far enough.
You know, in some of the scenes, they recognize somebody on the computer. Is that only in that one scene that we...
Yeah, they should. We should have a couple of recognitions.
Yeah, Jesus.
First off, they're extras. Secondly, they're all staring at a blue screen. Thirdly, how do you establish a timing, like when the page changes?
You could just see, yeah, exactly. You see one, and then you can tell recognize, and then the guy goes over.
Next screen. You know that girl.
I don't know how you cue it. I don't care. That's your job.
One on the right, one on the right. Yeah.
The thing I was gonna do is anytime the DJ says to you, "There's no problem," you say, "Of course, she's that's Natalie Portman."
Oh, okay.
Oh, dude, please. One on the left. Dude, she's so hot. Yeah, she's so. Of course she's hot. That's Natalie Portman.
Yeah, this looks great.
Turn that on. Yeah, for her. Can you kind of put it over your left shoulder? Good to hear. Yeah. Okay, great. You ready on witness cam? Ready. We're ready? Okay, and we're in sync. Do we have synchronization?
You ever been inside the porcelain?
No.
Cut it. Yeah, that's awesome. Tyler is burly. In here. You're gonna come running over here. I run? You run a mile and a half.
What do I have props-wise?
You would have, well, the question would be whether or not you picked up the newspaper on the way. Should you have?
Well, I've taken a lot.
You tried the laptop and then you gave it back.
Yeah.
And then you went running. So would you have stopped along the way to get the
newspaper?
Well, no. F it. You're just here. You know, it's enough.
Yeah.
It's been live for 36 hours.
Yeah, sure.
And action.
Hey! We're now read 20 minutes!
Mark Zuckerberg stole our website. It's been live for 36 hours.
Good. That'll work. Welcome to Boston.
David, how are you? Thank you. How's Boston?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
So let's start with you guys over here. Let's put the girl here. Action.
Do you want me to actually get up?
Yeah. No, you gotta do it from sitting. Sorry.
Now I can't remember. Do we hear your last name?
No.
How would you Facebook somebody off the first name?
That's what I was thinking. It's possible. It would just take a bit of searching.
Yeah, but I don't want the audience thinking, how's that going to happen? Isn't it just easier if she says her last name?
Now, most of you think you know the rest of the story, but you may not. The beginning of this revolution, now you're going to come back, was Modest. The kit computer on the cover of that magazine had an 8080 processor in it.
Unless you paid extra, you got 256K of memory. So the challenge when I wrote BASIC wasn't just that it had to run in 4K bytes, but it also that it had to leave room for the users to program in 4K bytes.
What I'm going to want you to do, you're doing a good job when you bring it down. I think scooch a little bit to your left. You have to like kind of shake it bit. I want to start going with that, but you go down and then you go. And action.
Now you may think you know the rest of the story, but you may not. Beginnings of this industry were humble. That kit computer on the cover of the magazine had an 8080 processor in it. Unless you paid extra for a 1K memory board, you got 256 bytes.
Now, there's no room for error on this. You were too low and you were too far over. You need to be up a little bit, you need to be back a little bit.
Cut. I still can't wrap my mind around him. He's such a unique guy. He speaks in such thoughtful and often esoteric ways that it's a little confusing at first. But I came to really appreciate this person who thought about what you're doing in the scene as much or more than you, and it's your job. And I think probably everybody on set can say that. He's probably thought about their job as much or more than them.
When Jesse crosses over, you make a little bit of an adjustment back.
Are you feeling some decision making on my part?
Well, I'm feeling indecision.
You just watch. And it's both intimidating and comforting. Intimidating because you feel like you're working for somebody who probably could maybe do it better than you. Like, I think he could do my part better than me.
Welcome to Facebook.
At the same time, it's also comforting because I know that when I do something that maybe I didn't feel was exactly right, he would have a better sense than I would about what needs to be. The only scene I dreaded was when we go to Palo Alto for the first time and we're like jumping off the house.
All right, summer fun. Here we go. Total jackassery. You're enjoying yourself doing knuckle-headed, chuckle-butted nonsense.
The reason I dreaded it was because I didn't see how it fit into Zuckerberg's psyche.
Ready?
Okay, here we are.
Last one,
That'll be
and
fun.
action.
Because I think it originally was scripted to open where Mark's on the top of the house, screaming and excited and everything. And for all the thoughts I've had about Zuckerberg, I couldn't picture him doing that, and I couldn't picture myself as him doing that because it seemed too happy for him. And then luckily when we got to the set, they changed the blocking, and I didn't have to be doing that.
Okay. So have I jumped into the water?
No, you're just videotaping.
filming.
You're just videotaping. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also somebody goes, quick, let's get a picture. Okay, everyone smile. Let's have a fake moment where we memorialize all the fun that we weren't having.
You mean I'm doing that?
Yeah, tiny bit. It's just a little bit of well, let's make sure we get this so we can remember those.
Oh, we can remember that
early-
we did have actual fun.
Yeah.
I had pretty clear ideas for what Zuckerberg would be during the movie, and I just didn't like him being happy because it just didn't seem to come from that. And then you watch videos of him, and he's sometimes very happy. He occasionally releases videos, and then there's interviews that he's done, most notably the 60 Minutes. It's very useful to have those kind of videos, and I have his voice in my iPod, so I can take the iPod to the set and have his voice in. But, when they call action, that stuff becomes kind of less relevant.
Cut it. Good. Reset. Reset.
Good job.
Resetting. This will be a bit of a reset.
What about in a Zuckerberg sense, just walking out of the pool self-satisfied, just walking out of the pool straight ahead.
This is
and then turn around and wait for him.
recreational.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. Recreational fun.
It's going to be a little weird looking, but that's maybe right.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's fine that it's awkward. I just don't want it to be. I just don't want it to feel like.
Rocky. So what if I just walk out of the pool and satisfied, then turn around and try to film it?
and it's almost like that. I make sure I got that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Let me make sure that I cued. Okay.
That's a good idea. Yeah, great. Okay.
And back.
I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's the doorbell.
I didn't know we have a doorbell.
This conversation, upon meeting these guys He doesn't know where, like, we don't know where Sean Parker and Sean Fanning begin and end. He doesn't know where Mark Zuckerberg and Eduardo Saverin end and begin. Right. So he's there to go, I'm fans of what it is you guys do. By the end of the night, he's able to go, I'm fans of what, it was nice to meet you. Right. You know what I mean? It was nice to meet all of you, but it was really nice to meet you. Here we go.
1:15, take 6.
He's 25 minutes late.
I founded Napster when he was 19. He can be late.
He's not a god.
What is he?
He's 25 minutes late.
Sean Parker is the co-founder of Napster. He's the mistress, so to speak. He is the driving force that comes in between two best friends.
You must be Eduardo and Christy and Mark. Great to meet you. Great to meet you.
He doesn't come in without merit. He comes in with some experience that the other fellas don't have, and so I think that's why he has the ability to stir the pot.
This is telling about Napster, and then we'll go back into you on I didn't want to spend my 20s as a professional defendant.
I brought down the record companies with Napster, and Case will suffer for their sins too.
The irony there is just fascinating that Justin is playing Sean Parker, considering he's playing a guy who was one of the creators of Napster, which kind of in a way destroyed the music industry.
You didn't bring down the record companies, they won.
You want to buy a Tower Records, Eduardo? I don't.
Cut. Reset. Any bouncers, bartenders, or waitresses? Take 30% off the swing. Go dancers. End has to be the same. Come on in, guys. Down here, basically, we're going to have music. We're going to have playback. It's going to be loud. There's going to be smoke. There's going to be lights. It's a club.
If you're going to do strobes at the beginning.
That's what I program it to see the girls when they're dancing.
Good.
I'm going to take some folks out dancing out here in the center, some people at the bar. There's going to be a point that we're going to be recording the dialogue, so the music's going to stop. You got to keep acting because what we're doing is recording a clean track of dialogue up there. We can't have the music playing at the same time. So even if the music stops, just keep going, all right? So you hear cut. Playback!
I think ultimately that their connection is sort of as anarchists.
I changed the music industry for better and for always. It may not have been good business, but it pissed a lot of people off. And isn't that what your face smash was about? They're scared of me, pal, and they're gonna be scared of you.
The greatest act of anarchy is not to be the guy outside the walls throwing Molotov cocktails or spray painting outside the palace walls. If you're the ultimate act of anarchy is you're in the king's suite. You're in the Pope's quarters with spray paint with a can of crime on.
The VCs wanted to say, good idea, kid. Grown-ups will take it from here. But not this time. This is our time. This time you're gonna hand him a business card that says, I'm CEO, bitch. That's what I want for you.
The one thing that I think is really, really important is that his ego does not allow him to sublimate himself to anyone. That's Mark Zuckerberg's hubris. That's why Sean can never sell the thing as, you need to get rid of Eduardo, you need to get me. Because the second he does that, Mark Zuckerberg's gonna go, we're done.
I agree with everything that you're saying, but I'm CEO, bitch, is the church that they both go to.
The seed is planted, terror grows.
Well said.
Up here, now we're in the doorway, looking back. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Splits the look. What's he gonna do? Turns it around.
Got this nerve.
Get up. Just walk over this.
Just walk over.
Just
parallel
like,
over it.
boom. Thank you. Super high five. Thank you. Boom. Cut to togetherness forever. And cut it. Save that one. Cutting. An army, keep moving. Put your weight on your left foot so you pull out. And then
Mark? He's wired in.
Excuse me?
He's wired in.
Is he?
Yes. Bang. Story about the chicken.
It has to come out of this meltdown of
It's
like,
gonna be funny either way, isn't it? It's
that you don't have any.
I haven't
but
got
it
it.
has to be based on something that's not
absolutely.
fun.
No.
But it's based on it's like how could you?
Yeah,
I'm
no.
so
that
angry
was,
and
that
so
was
hurt.
where the betrayal began.
So angry and so hurt
Yeah.
at the same time, both barrels.
Well, what the hell's the chicken?
And I bet we'll have
Yeah. I have a little metal plate that's
Oh,
gonna
okay.
go on.
Oh,
there
wow.
it is.
Okay.
So I have a little protective steel plate that goes under here that helps destroy this.
After he does that, am I consumed with that my computer was just broken or not?
No.
This is bigger.
This is the inevitable.
Right. Okay.
Come to Jesus.
Okay.
With you as Jesus.
Sure.
Okay.
And roll. And action.
Mark?
Mark!
He's wired in.
Sorry?
He's wired in.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
How about now? You still wired in?
Call security.
You issued 24 million new shares of stock.
I'm told that if new investors came along that you would...
How much were your shares diluted? How much were his?
You signed the papers.
All right, cut it. Again, there we go.
Cut.
Take some licking. I mean, what do we have? I think we have quite a few. Great, here we go. You can't be there for when he hands off the... You have to be here so that he can cross through over his shoulder, which he doesn't see, and then inside him so that we have that when he turns around. Yikes, and she goes, boom.
And she
Okay.
flick that light switch when she comes in and just motivate this one chandelier here so that there's a direction to it just in the corner. Nope. Fantastic.
He can turn that on and you can put something down low over here, but it has to be, I mean, it should be light in the hallway.
Right.
And then when she comes forward, she should be kind of in shadow. I mean, she'd be pretty, so you go, she's come to murder him.
She's holding the rudder.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna let you ignore me.
What if I put the phone there, if the fire's there?
Well, the fire, yeah, I just feel like you just, I think it'll be funnier here
Yeah,
because
sure.
I love the idea of cutting to this phone and you hear him, but
Yeah,
and
and
his
the fire
flames are
back-
burning. And,
Very nice.
okay, cool. Headbutt, let's go.
Ribbon up the back the same way?
Same exact way that you did it. Go ahead and put some on the rim too.
Okay. Okay, now it's got to burn for a while. Oh, there's a, and then she goes, now I'm going to kick it over.
Did you kick it on the top of that? Kick it or
Push this in. That's it, just like that.
If you want to try one, we got to set up with her just to make sure she's comfortable. Sure.
Well, let's let her get her hair in a ponytail first. Because right now she's incredibly flammable.
Right. Okay.
And you've done a fire walk, right? Just don't breathe in. Till the guys come up with you, just do not breathe in.
Just don't move. So I can't stop, drop, and roll?
Yeah. And you look at him, and then you drop it. And then you step away from it. There you go. So that's all you want to do is that first one is going to be the biggest, but
Got
and it
it.
probably won't be that big because it'll be dry.
Got it.
Roll. Speed.
Concentrate and action.
Hello? Jesus Christ.
When did you get back?
You scared me. I need you to knock first.
When did you get back?
I got back this afternoon.
Did you know I sent 47 texts?
I did. And I thought that was incredibly normal behavior.
Cut it. Very nice.
Cut.
Pictures up.
Bravo 12 Apple.
Roll it. Roll.
Baker, 12 apple, take 1.
Are you okay?
We're ranking girls.
You're talking about other students.
Yeah.
Damn, people's heads will explode.
I need the algorithm.
Mark.
I need the algorithm. Okay.
Cut. Very nice.
Cut.
Okay, just don't nod. Just, I need the other. Okay. I need the output. I know you're trying to save me for myself, which is what I hate most. Don't try to save me for myself.
Is it too much? I don't want to make a joke of it, but I think it's very funny on the
If we move in,
fashion doorway to put up on the thing.
If we can make room for Mr. Penny to blow on it.
Yeah, we're here. We'll be fast, never finish.
I mean, this is a real joke.
Speak this up. Don't play it as a joke.
No, I mean, there's no way to play it.
Yeah. As long as it's not an equal of John Ritter.
No, where are you trying to fall behind the couch?
Take 23.
Time to monetize the thing.
What were their names?
You hear what I just said?
What?
I said it's time to monetize the site.
What does that mean?
It means it's time for the website to start generating revenue.
No, I know what the word means. I'm asking, how do you want to do it?
Advertising.
No.
Just know that the word advertising is going to be like saying what to him.
Okay.
Yeah, pornography. It's going to be
Okay.
like, no.
Okay, sure. We got 4,000 members.
Well, look, hey, we do have 4,000 members. Like, that's something, we can parlay that into something.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because it's not cool. We're going to be cool, and that's what it's about. Cool is priority.
Because the Facebook is cool. If we start installing pop-ups from Mountain Dew, it's not going to be cool.
Hey, I wasn't thinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah, not Mountain Dew.
No.
We don't want Mountain Dew. That's cool. Okay.
Okay, you know what? It is cool right now because there is no action. I understand. I don't want to put ads on there.
But at some point.
But at some point, and I'm talking as the business end of the company, the site.
We don't even know what it is yet.
We have 4,000 members. That's not nothing. That's something. Yeah, no, we should exploit this.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the way, that's what grown-ups do.
Yeah.
You have a thing, 4,000 people flock to it. I mean, who knows, there might be 8,000 by the time we're done. So it's so, look, yes, you know you're going to meet with resistance.
No, I know, I don't think I do.
I think you do. I think you know that he's going to be.
We haven't had this conversation.
I know, but he's an artist and you can't be troubled with that. Look, I'm the business head of the thing, so I'm just
and
saying.
even if he does have resistance, it's my money, so I'm gonna do what we're doing.
But you can't do without him. So,
No,
you have to get him to say all you want. Look, at the end of this, I just want you to start thinking about how we're gonna monetize this thing.
They're making eye contact until the water goes, it's this, and then he's suddenly, oh, well, now he's not, now it's oblique, and these are glancing blows.
Mark, what is this?
What?
This.
It's called a cease and desist letter. What were their names?
Who?
The girls.
When did you get this?
About 10 days ago, right after I launched the site.
Why didn't you show this to me?
It was addressed to me.
They're saying that we stole the Facebook from Divya Narendra and the Winklevoss.
I know what it says.
Did we?
Did we what?
Don't screw around with me now. Look at me. The letter says we could face legal action.
No, it says I could face legal action.
I think there's a very important thing going on here, which is we and I.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you tell me about this? Because it was to me.
Mm-hmm.
What did we steal anything from them? And it's like.
There is definitely a we who, Tom, so yeah.
Yeah, who's we? You got a rat in your pocket? No. We didn't.
Right.
Listen to me. It's the
Yes.
we thing is the.
Absolutely, there's the we thing. I'm pretty sure, first of all, I love you, Wardo, but a million years you can't do what I do. Secondly, while I was, up for 48 hours straight on Red Bull, doing this thing, and sleeping 3 hours, getting up again, you were doing pang raids at the Phoenix and having drinking games.
Yeah.
I don't think they're interested in you, Warren. I think they're interested in suing me.
But the panty raids thing is the thing that he can't access because that's where he's crippled. That's what makes it burn and melt down and why it drops out of the soles of his feet and you know what I mean. It's the thing. It's the deep core problem. So this thing encompasses 3 of the things that make him most uncomfortable. 1, close proximity.
Yeah.
2,
confrontation.
Just getting pushback at all on
something of
that what he's done is wrong in some way. So make me believe in this last thing that Everything is no. I didn't steal anything.
Do they have grounds? The grounds are our thing is cool and popular and Harvard connection is lame. Wardo, I promise I didn't use any of their code. I didn't use anything. A guy who builds a really nice chair doesn't suddenly owe money to everyone else who's ever built a chair. They came to me with an idea. I had a better one.
Why didn't you show me the letter?
I didn't think it was a big deal.
Then he comes over, and proximity and the honesty with which he's saying, we're fixed at the hip.
If there's ever anything wrong, you can tell me. I'm the guy that wants to help. This is our thing.
That makes you uncomfortable, and then he asks you the thing now, I need to check, just to make sure you're not leaving anything out. Take that and go, no.
Okay.
I'm not, no. I told you before, I'm telling you now.
Now, is there anything that you need to tell me? No.
Roll, please. Ready.
Wait, sorry. Speed.
And action.
He's expanding. What? He's expanding to Yale, Columbia, and Stanford. Will be in the Crimson tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Looks like that cease and desist letter really scared the shit out of him, huh?
I want to hire a lawyer to file for injunctive relief and get the site taken down now. On the set, you know, you're walking around the room, and the camera doesn't see what I'm looking at, but, you know, I see a comb or a ring or, you know, the dresser or the books, you know? I mean, these guys were so detailed. It's like our courses are there. My course schedule was on my desk wall. The camera never even got near that, you know? But it's like I get to see that, and then it's just another thing that brings you back into that world, into that moment.
Take 5.
Speed.
Ready?
Yeah! I left a message with his RA. I left 2, now I'm leaving one here.
Looking at the article in the
Narendra?
Crimson. Today's.
N-A... Just tell him Divya called.
That's
He knows who I am.
Harvard's register for new
Ask someone
Facebook
else who I am.
website. And the subheading is Face Smash Creator seeks new reputation with latest online project.
Cut. Very nice. Cut. A little more urgency in that. Get this motherfucker on the phone. If you get him, it's gonna stop everything.
Okay.
Is this you, Zuckerberg? Where the are you?
Okay.
Tell me where you are right now.
Okay.
Because I got 2 people who want to talk to you.
No, I want to hire the Sopranos to beat the shit out of him with a crescent wrench.
We don't even have to do that.
Thank you.
We can do it ourselves. I'm 6'5", 220, and there's 2 of me.
And the hand that points on the
6'5" is the left hand, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. You did it with the right. I'm 6'5".
Gotta lean.
Oh, no.
It's gotta lean
I
back.
think you did it with the right hand.
Sooner.
Yes, you have to,
Lean back sooner.
You have to lean back sooner on, while we're waiting for my dad's lawyer, which you remembered late.
I did remember
saw
that late. Now, where do I say, now, that's exactly what he said, that's exactly what we said to him.
He's giving you the finger in the crimson. Make sure you're pointing with your right hand, right? And then you sit back right after that.
Then before you stand up, I just need you to give me it's instead of this, you're so fresh. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I have that.
He's giving us the finger in the crimson. Cam, while Dad's lawyer's looking all this stuff over, we can at least get something going in the paper so that people know that this is in dispute.
We're not starting a knife fight in the Crimson, and we're not going to sue anybody.
Why not?
Hey, that hairdryer works really well in the shower.
Cut it.
Cut.
We were in this room, and I mean, no one likes being in a deposition room, period. But then you're in it all day, every day for weeks doing the same scenes over and over. So it was like being in a sensory deprivation chamber that was just made to torture you.
There's points where you're like about to go insane because you're seeing the same room over and over again for like 10 days or whatever it was. It seemed like 10 days.
It definitely was challenging But I think that probably those depositions are a little bit like that. I mean, this is a really heightened version of that because it's been weeks as opposed to hours. But like, I think that people get really tired and the testimony is really emotional, and it's definitely exhausting to watch, but it's also exciting.
The best part about that was just being in the room with everybody. You know, because we didn't get to work a lot with Andrew, who's a brilliant actor, Andrew Garfield, and Rashida Jones, and a number of other people. And so for us to all get to come together now at this point, it was fun. You know, it was just kind of like a little party.
And Mark was, you know, the biggest thing on the campus. It included 19 Nobel laureates, 15 Pulitzer Prize winners, 2 future Olympians, and a movie star.
Oh, who was the movie star?
You f***ing kidding me?
No. I mean...
Dude, come on.
The shooting process itself feels like an extensive rehearsal process because it's really involved, and they really let you do it a bunch of times until it feels like part of your skin.
Within one take, without cutting, we would do it 30 times, like a monologue. And I thought, I'm not doing well if we have to do it so many times, and that kind of put me on edge a little bit. I'm in the middle of 2 different lawsuits.
Did you answer affirmatively? When Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss and Divya Narendra asked you to build Harvard Connection, did you say yes?
I said I'd help.
Good. Once again, and Jesse, try currently in the middle. Just clarify with him.
Okay.
Here we go. And don't actually eat your skin. You can chew it, but just don't eat it. Here we go. And action.
Cameron Winklevoss, W-I-N.
Second. All right.
Cameron Winklevoss, W-I-N-K-L-E-V-O-S-S. Cameron spelled the usual way.
You know, it's arduous and it's exhausting, but I think that there's sort of a brilliant design behind it in a way. It forces you out of your head. You almost don't have time to think. You know, between takes, he'll give you a note, and it's just like you got to go right back into it. And eventually, you've done it so many times that it's like by take 45, you're so tired that you're not even thinking about it, and that's where you should be.
But it's nice, you know, because you're with a director who likes to do that many takes, and he's very much a perfectionist. So if he doesn't think it's right, he's going to keep going until he gets what he wants, which is, as an actor, the most comforting thing you can hear. You know, I feel very protected in this.
There's 2 things that I think are really advantageous to doing a lot of takes. One is it takes the pressure off of the individual take, you know, because I never felt like the pressure was on me to get it right away, because there was an understanding on the part of the 100 people working on the movie, which sometimes is a lot of pressure that 100 people are spending their time so that you can kind of get it right. The pressure never was on me because everybody knew that we'd be doing a lot of takes, so I never felt personally responsible for the time that was being used. And then the main thing is you could try different things, and you didn't worry that they'd only have those 2 options and they'd have to choose one, and they both kind of weren't hitting the mark. I really like it. I mean, I have a lot of insecurity about performing, so the more times you get to do it, the more times you get a chance to do it right. I still, after 100 takes or something, I still don't feel like I got it how I wanted it to be, but I don't think maybe I'll ever feel that way. Maybe that's okay, and I have to deal that with Dr. Goldsmith, my therapist. But you want to feel like you had the greatest opportunity to do it right.
It's bliss for an actor to have that feeling that you're able to up. You need that in order to find whatever it is that you're looking for that you have no idea of. You know, that unknown thing that you can't ever consciously create.
Did he offer terms?
Yes, he said we'd split the company 70-30, 70 for him, 30 for me. And he named me CFO.
And you said?
I said, let's do it.
Great. Once again, Jesse, slide an inch to your right. There. And action.
It's also a part of the process of doing digital filmmaking where you can just be in there doing take after take after take and you're never really away from each other. It's different from the old way of movie making, of coming in and doing a couple of takes and then walking away for a while and while they adjust everything and reload and whatever. It's like rehearsing a play to some degrees, of just going over and over and over a scene, talking briefly about it, banging back into it with no worry about people having to reset things. You know, we still have our breaks, you know, say set up a different version of the shot, you know, a different angle or something, but it is a lot more work.
You're not an asshole, Mark. You're just trying so hard to be.
And then go with that. You go.
Does it feel right that I get up there and not? I mean, I feel like I could either get up on.
Did it fine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or right after that. Like that's what Cy and the others will tell you. What the guys will tell you in the morning. Or I can wait.
Well, show me what that is.
Pay the fine. Pay the fine. In the scheme of things, it's a speeding ticket. That's what Cy and the guys will tell you in the morning.
Okay, cross on. No, not at all. There's a night guy downstairs, and then stop at the doorway for.
Okay.
You're not an asshole.
You're not an asshole, Mark. I like my character because she's kind of like this Greek chorus, this conscience of the movie, where she just like sits back and witnesses this thing going down and then offers her slight opinion and not in a pushy way. And I like that in my own life, the idea of like just sitting and listening. And I like it as an actor because I got to sit and listen to this entire deposition process and then make a really informed, educated assessment of what just happened. It's a good lesson.
I appreciate your help today.
You're not an asshole, Mark. You're just trying so hard to be. There's so many different ways for the scene to play out, and there's so many different flavors of Mark Zuckerberg that people can be left with at the end of this movie, or the character Mark Zuckerberg. And, I think David and Aaron have really just been experimenting with what those could be. But I think they, at the very end, want to present a very balanced picture of this person and what this person went through.
And cut it. Just, tilt your head a little bit more to the left. There.
It's not coming from a need. It's not even coming from a desire. It's coming from this reflex of I have to go back to the beginning. Just see. So it's just, it's not a smile. It's just relax. And I want everybody to do everything on it. So whatever you can do to take out everything. Okay, here we go.
It's nicely bookended, and it's sad that in the end he has, no friends, all of this money, and he's created the biggest social network out there, and yet he's completely socially inept.
Zuckerberg almost is, in a way, kind of a personification of Facebook. I mean, I feel weird talking about him because I don't know him, but I mean, for me, the character kind of like thinks of Eduardo. We should be friends because I need you for this thing, and you need me for this thing, and you like this band, and I like this band, and kind of this very pragmatic way. And that's kind of, from the little I know about Facebook, kind of what Facebook has too. People are linked through, through common circumstance or common interest rather than the kind of more nuanced relationships you have with somebody in person. And the interesting thing is that I think it's precisely that, potentially narrow focus socially that allowed him to create something that so many people find so accessible.
Jesse, you're done.
Bravo.
They wrote Zuckerberg said he hoped the privacy options would help restore his reputation following student outrage over FaceSmash.com.
Now, while we're waiting for Dad's lawyer to look this over, we can at least get something going in the paper so people know that this is in dispute.
Got it. Moving on. That's it for Army. That's it for Josh. That's it for Max. Finishing up.
On the last day of shooting the movie, we had 3 shots to get. And in the middle of the second shot, David took me aside and said, let me just tell you what's going to happen now. We're going to finish up getting the second of 3 shots that we need to get. Then I'm getting in my car and I'm going home, and you're directing the rest of the movie. And I thought he was joking, and I was kind of going along with the joke. And he kept saying, no, I'm serious, and I kept laughing about it until the first AD, Bob Wagner, came up to me and said, don't worry, we're here for whatever you need. And our great DP, Jeff Cronenweth, asked me to come and line up a shot. And second ADs are having me choose background and select wardrobe and all this stuff. And David meant it, and he did, by the way, get in his car and leave. He wanted to make it clear that this wasn't the pilot asking the little boy to come up to the cabin and look, you're really flying the plane. So, kiddo, you got no net. I'm out of here. Now, that shot I believe is less than 1 second long. If it's more than 1 second, then it's 1.2 seconds. I did 2 takes and went, okay, we've got it. Bob Wagner, the first AD, said, David will kill me if I only give him 2 takes. You have to do more. So I said, okay, we're just gonna do a few more exactly the way we just did those first 2, okay? So we did a few more, and that was it. I also got to say that's a wrap, and we wrapped the movie out.
All right, cut it. Cut. Good. Okay. Anything else? Is that it? Social network wrapped? You good? Ladies and gentlemen, all right. That is a wrap. Thank you all for your very hard work.
A lot of people say it's like, oh my god, it's so great, and we had such a great time. We're all gonna stay in touch. But I seriously think we're all gonna stay in touch.
Even though I wasn't here that much, I really took a lot. It was such an amazing experience, and I learned so much as an actor.
I grew as a person, as an actor. You know, it's a dream.
It was fun to just be around and watch it all happen. And
this is so boring, isn't it? I should have more dirt and say that there's lots of fights happening.
These are my only Facebook friends because I'm not on Facebook.
My girlfriend's mother, you know, would always say things like, if you have time for that Facebook, you have time to tutor a child. And so no one should be on Facebook unless they're tutoring the child. And if they're tutoring a child and on Facebook, then they should tutor another child.
I'm very proud of the movie. I can't imagine being more proud. When I write something, I'm sure David's the same way when he directs something. I'm sure our cast is the same way. I don't try to take everybody's temperatures and should ask for a show of hands and give people what they want. I don't know what people want. People don't want the same things. This is all a long way of saying that all I can do is write something that I like, write something that I think my friends would like, write something that I think my father would like, and keep my fingers crossed that enough other people like it that I can keep earning a living.
I was recently at the AFI tribute to Mike Nichols. And on those kind of occasions, they show kind of extended clips of the awardee's career. And so you're sitting watching the screen scenes from Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Graduate, Catch-22, Carnal Knowledge. And I remember sitting there thinking, why aren't we making movies like this? And then I saw Social Network, and I realized that every now and then we are.
Hey, Jeffrey. Yeah. This up here, can you speak a little bit brighter? Yeah. Here we go. Okay, and then let's get a little dust on the tops of this, so that when she lifts this, it's like a little dusty in there. You got it? This face picture. You gotta be this way a little bit. You know, piercings are piercings. Losing weight is losing weight. I think that that's important to the Golden Globes. It's not so important to me. It's, you know, it's really about, you know, is the person willing to do the work on themselves to understand this character?
I knew I was gonna have to sort of live with the part as much as I could, and that was another one of the things that David said to me whenever he was telling me I got the part. He was like, you're gonna have to like say goodbye to your friends, your family, your loved ones. You're gonna have to like go, at least for the first one, to Stockholm and literally be alone and say goodbye to your life. I was like, that sounds like a vacation to me. I would love to just like shut everyone out. Because I mean, but David didn't know me then, so he didn't know that I actually am a loner, and that doesn't scare me at all. So that, I mean, I can see how that would scare someone else, but it didn't scare me.
She's a little bit of a fringe dweller in her real life. You know, she's kind of self-conscious, but she grows on you. That's what we needed, you know, I needed E.T. You know, the first time you see E.T., you go, really, you're gonna hang a whole movie on this thing? And I needed her to come from a place that you sort of realize that she is damaged goods.
David understands people so well. He doesn't treat any two people the same.
Now lean out a little bit before you, there, and then go.
He won't direct me the way he's gonna direct Steven Berkoff or Daniel. Like, he knows how people will respond to certain things, and that's what makes him so great, is he can navigate that.
Rude. Yeah? You're lean out, you're gonna lean and go. You're looking for this ISP junction, right? Yeah. You're looking for this box, but in amongst all this old fucking crap. So keep the autistic, ferrety thing, but you know exactly what it is that, you know the shape of what it is you're looking for.
I think Rooney should be chewing gum in this scene.
Nope. Thank you, Bob. And action.
I think David understands about me that's really helpful in terms of, you know, what he's asked me to do. Is I will do anything for him, but I have to feel like I know everything about it and that I'm totally prepared. You know, you asked the question, like, do you think or feel more as an actor? And I really overthink everything, but I do it all before I get there. Like, I can't be thinking about things when I'm on set. I overthink everything before, and then when I'm there, like, the thinking is gone.
This is going to end up being plugged in to one of these, right? So, can you reach up here? Let me see what you can reach. We're trying to find a good place for you to hide it.
So I think if David's ever asked me to do something and I said no, it was because I was like, you can't ask me to do that here. I have to go spend 10 hours on Google looking that up and like figuring out how to do that. I'm not doing that right now in front of everyone.
Yeah, I'll slide it through there.
Can you?
No, I can do it. And I'm gonna hide it back here.
Yeah, okay, good. It all works. Couldn't be better.
That's one of my favorite things about him, is that he challenges everybody. And I think that's why his movies are so great, is because they challenge you. They make you think about things maybe you wouldn't have. People like to be challenged, they do. And I think most movies do not challenge people at all.
Cut it. And action. It's a two-hander, but it really revolves around his. I mean, even by Swedish standards, a more sort of conventional character, and then she's this sort of orbiting satellite.
Who is it?
It's Mikael Blomqvist.
Actually, I'm not really up yet.
May I come in, please?
I feel like if a story was only about Lisbeth, it wouldn't work. None of the books are only about her.
Hi.
I've done other stories where you're dealing with parallel stories or parallel characters. In some cases, they don't get together until the end. Your hope is that each one of the stories is interesting in and of itself, so that an audience isn't kind of more interested in one than the other. And I think in this case, they're equally interesting. His story and her story and how they come together and how they work together and what they're each going through ultimately is why it works, I think.
When they cast me, Daniel was already in place. I remember I wasn't that nervous to read with him. It's always so much better to read with an actor. And I remember he was really fit. He'd come from New Mexico from Cowboys and Aliens, and he was like touching his toes, stretching, and I was like, oh my God, he's like a ninja.
Unfortunately, I was in probably the best shape of my life, and David went, get fat, and it was a struggle, but I managed.
Living here and being here was really probably more helpful than any of the training that I did, because I got to understand what the book was talking about. I mean, you can't really understand that until you've lived here and know the people and can sort of feel the energy of the city. There is a passivity here, and people say it all the time. The Swedes say it all the time. Like, if there's a fight, they will look the other way. Like, they will just keep walking. And so when we were doing the junkie scene, it sort of seemed like crazy to us as Americans that this fight is happening and people are just sort of standing there not doing anything. But none of the Swedes thought that was strange. So that's what I'm saying about coming here was so helpful to knowing those things, because as an American, to me that reads as sort of false. But here, that couldn't be more true.
Cut.
I felt that that scene was like one of her most important scenes. I know it's just a little thing, and it's sort of just like a plot point because she needs her computer to get destroyed so that she can have a, you know, that's why Bierman makes her do what he makes her do. But I actually think that scene's one of the most telling about her, and it's one of the most important for her character. She is someone who is constantly underestimated and abused and taken advantage of. But even though she, you know, has a vulnerable side and looks like someone you can fuck with, she is not that person. Like, she has nothing to lose. And so when he takes the only thing in the world that means anything to her, I mean, her computer is the only way she communicates with the rest of the world. It's everything to her. So when he takes that one thing, she is not gonna let that happen.
Okay, so 100% at the beginning to the tug of war, 100% in defending the pack, 10% for the strike and drop it to the ground. You don't have to do the scream when you say now. You'll get up and get around. You'll grab and do the second tug of war. The kick's going to have to be at 100%, and then getting over the railing's going to have to be at 100%. Okay. So, in front of her, she passes us. We follow her. We stay on her. Marco grabs back. We stop. She looks. She has. Good. Here we go. Back to one.
David staged it taking place on these long escalators in the actual, you know, Stockholm subway system. And so the tricks were to cover it with the same kind of energy that the fight was actually happening and be part of it, even though, you know, the tunnel of an escalator is pretty narrow, and so sometimes we were going the opposite direction, sometimes we were in the same escalator. And so that's one of the situations where we utilize the epics the most because of the ability to take any auxiliary equipment off of it and make it as small as you can, and built these little handheld rigs where David Worley and myself, the other camera operator, were able to really get in there and be participants in the battle. We actually built a rig that the railings of the escalator would be passing through, but a grip could walk against it and keep us stationary while we followed action.
This guy's good. This is good. They get up where they're supposed to come, and then he comes. So they're waiting a little bit here.
You want to get out of here. You don't want to get dragged in. Just walk. Just keep walking up. Don't stay and react. Give more. That was good, but I need more space.
Okay. Roll, please. Great. Ready and action. Train, 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 train. Cut it! Cut! That's lunch! Lunch!
We had 3 days to shoot that, and that means you will do this all day for 3 days. There's no lighting changes.
Need a cigarette.
So I literally spent like 10 hours running up the escalator and like beating him up, running down, catching it. It was just like, it was exhausting. It really was.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. You want a coffee? Cappuccino? Espresso?
I chipped my tooth. So I have a chipped tooth.
No, I
Did you
couldn't
go
grind
by?
something with the wire. Couldn't get off.
Okay. Here we go.
You know what's gonna happen?
What?
Did you tell her that?
No. Watch this. Good, okay. Moving on.
What's the Swedish title? Men Who Hate Women, which is fairly on the nose. It's like the books have been around forever. But it seems very squeezed to me. Suddenly these books were around, suddenly they were bestsellers, suddenly there was a movie, and it was all sort of in the space of it seemed to me a short period of time, but actually I suppose it must have been a couple of years. And I first noticed them really, literally at airports, where because obviously I travel a lot, and I'd be walking through airports, and any number of people would be reading the same book. I think that's really when I first sort of came into my consciousness.
People are more intrigued than they're willing to admit by sort of the underworkings of society, the sort of dark secrets. You know, most people don't like to admit that if they drive by a car crash that they want to see it. And it also has a happy ending. Like, no one died. Harriet isn't dead, you know? So it has all that, but then it also has, like, the happy ending that people like. People really love that character. There's just so many different facets to her. You're so with her, but at the same time, you also really question her, and sometimes, like, are frustrated by her. And I think that's so cool that his inspiration is what would Pippi Longstocking be like in 2000, whatever year he wrote it. You know, what would she be like today, 25 years later? And I think Lisbeth is sort of exactly who she would be. She's traded in the horse for a motorcycle. She's gotten rid of Mr. Nielsen. She has her computer now, and she steals from the bad guys and lives by a moral code. Men here don't hold open a door for women. They don't take their back. Like, there isn't that, which is great, like, to an extent. But it's a very different dynamic between men and women here.
Once again, give me some more grunts and groans, especially on the, when you get past the wrist. Just give me some more exertion on the, before you get to the, so it's not, it's, because he's big, dude. Here we go.
You're gonna make, like, farting, pooping noises when I stick it?
Oh, yeah.
You know that game? It's like,
I don't know the game. I don't know that I want to know. if it was inspired by watching this.
It's like shitting, fucking, or getting killed. If you play a game, you make a noise, and people have to guess whether you're making a noise that's shitting, fucking, or being murdered. This totally goes into that. You could play or anally raping someone. All the noises sound the same.
Huh.
If you listen to it back, what?
No, let's go back to the game. Let's go back to the game itself. What are you talking about? What is this, like, is this a Bridesmaids thing that you did over the weekend or something?
I've never actually played it. My sister told me about it.
Oh, yeah, of course not. No. I read about it.
But you could add, we could play this back and
no one would know.
It could sound like any of those three things.
Okay, here we go. You just sound a little, I don't know.
When you're pushing his legs over, how about like vocal, like, instead of just the breath?
Yeah, like
that. No, but like the straining efforts.
Go. Here we go, once again.
Come back up the mic.
Surprise us with something amazing.
You don't think you could ADR that sound into a sex scene and it would sound like somewhat similar?
You know that game where you do those sounds where you're working out or being anally violated, or what was the third one?
Shitting.
You're shitting.
Or getting killed.
Game, make sounds.
You'll find stuff on there.
I intend to
find anything on the internet.
Well, I said game where you make noise as if you're shitting, having sex, or being killed, and Google search, and there's nothing. So obviously you're lying.
I'll find it for you later and send it to you.
No.
I don't think that's the noise you make. I never made that noise when I was kicking.
You don't have to be more surprising. It should be as surprising as it can be.
Hiya!
I like it. It makes her so. They made us change the typeface for the poster because they thought it was too Asian.
The font that I loved?
The font that you grew to love as you matured, it became more.
What did you change it to?
Visually. They just took some of the little sharp points off it, so it did look so Asian.
I think that was probably.
I said, you mean Oriental?
I think that was probably a wise choice. When I struggle when I can't breathe because he's choking me.
You can still make sounds when people are choking. If you'd like to pay attention.
Yeah, I'm gonna need David to choke me.
And people will ask, is she shitting or dying?
Hey, Rudy?
Yeah.
On this, you should probably stand so you can move around and get strangled.
Yeah, here, let me get that chair.
But I can't actually move around.
Yeah, you can.
Because I'm not actually being choked.
You're moments away from being
You couldn't, I could kick your ass. You know it.
Do you eat?
Food's here if you want, bro.
Food! It's food time. Oh. Let's go back to one. Let's see how Rooney fits into this. Here we go. Back to one.
Oh.
It is. Okay, let's do one last rehearsal. Ready?
The set was pretty cold. It was winter for us in California. Nothing like Sweden, mind you, but the sets were chilly at best. And Rooney was cold, and so someone found one of those space heaters and sat it there.
You can bring this in, and you can leave it right here. Okay?
It initially wasn't going to be part of the shot, but then through the rehearsals and seeing the quality of light in her face and seeing her emotional anger.
I feel more the heat lamp than I do the highlight. So let's bring it back around.
It made perfect sense, and it created this glow, and it's one of those, you know, Conrad Hall moments in Cold Blood. So we went with it.
Can I be listening to the music or no?
You may, yeah.
Should we get black?
Yeah. Yeah, we can get some, let's get some, you have any skull candy headphones? Props.
Make sure we don't see the iPhone on the
Put
iPod.
it right there.
So this looks a little garish. You're gonna put the helmet here. Need some more shit back in here. This cable should be dressed in here to look like somebody who's, yeah, and it probably should come from over in here. You know what? I'm not taking these pants.
You're not feeling these pants.
I don't know, they look kind of juicy couture. I was just gonna say that. You know what I mean? They really, they just feel a little, I mean, maybe it's like, what if there's like boxers or something? Hey, Dishala? You need some other pants. These just look too Beverly Hills.
Okay, I have a couple other pairs.
Great, bring them up.
Have the waffly ones and then the smooth black ones.
Which ones do you like?
I like either.
And pull them up so we just see a little bit of calves, and you know what I mean? So it just feels. Try those ones on. Go ahead and change.
These?
Yeah. Yeah. Ready and action. Yeah, pull them way to it here. Okay. And puff. Shit. We're a little soft. Go a little deeper with the focus. Cut.
It was a challenging shot to light in two different directions, and technically the first day we tried to do this shot, the software didn't work out so well on the rig, and so we had to go back on another day and attempt it again.
We don't want to overshoot it and then end up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so we have to correct, if I understand you, the tilt for the previous keyframe.
Yep.
David has worked with motion control and all kinds of programmable arms and been in the effects world for so long that he has high expectations of this technology, and this being not something new but something still evolving was put to a test, and at the moment they didn't actually have everything they needed to make it work right, so that was really the only problem. Once they came back a few days later and knew the shot we intended to do, worked out a few glitches, it worked perfectly.
How's that for focus? Okay, good. Back to one. Here we go.
Talk loud, okay?
Okay, we'll do. Okay, be puffing as we come in. Rolling, rolling. Here we go. As soon as you're back to one, send the camera. Okay, listening to music, earbuds, pulling your wires, smoking, and thinking evil shit.
Some Tim Akers to lunch.
Right before I.
Gotta be instead of.
Okay.
It's, I don't know why, but it's.
Yeah.
Can the zip ties that the police use be purchased in a hardware store?
No. Those are
How many of these do you have? 3?
Nope, I've got a whole bag.
Okay, let's see a little bag of them. Let's see how they come. Okay. How many of these do you have?
I think just those 2.
Okay, all right. This is night, right?
Nope, day. Right direct cut with the hardware store.
Is the hardware store right after the tattoo parlor?
Shouldn't be.
As it is in the script.
But what about?
She had to stop it, you know?
No, but it's that same day. I'm in the same outfit.
Yeah.
Be there till she builds that tower. Then when she puts the ink down, go down as far as you can here, so that then when you come back up after she flops it down.
I'm going to the dork parade.
All right, sit in there, dork. Here we go. Okay. I don't know about these. What do you think about going to shorts or something?
I have
Just
shorts
let-
that I wear, but I get raped
Trish?
in them.
What?
Thank you.
I have shorts, but I get raped in them, so I don't think I'd put those on.
Let's keep trying.
Do you want other pants?
Well, I mean, it definitely looks like cold weather gear as opposed to your house is warm.
Oh, I need warmth. I'm feeling.
Hang on a second.
Oh, no, really?
Actually, it looks kind of great like that.
No hat?
I mean,
This is rape hair.
let's try that. Let's see that, and then we gotta do something about the pants.
What do I do about
and
my
maybe
penis couch?
just sport it
Hand in
with
pants.
pride.
Just gonna put a little gauze in, a little plumper.
Rude. Still a little sore. Just the back of the thigh. Here we go. Back. Really nice. And once again, not quite that low. We are rolling.
13. I was never in any trouble, but, you know, I'm tied up, I can't escape, and actually you get short of breath, and it's, and the scene was at a high level of emotion, so, but it wasn't such a big deal.
Okay, let's stand by.
Let's go around the front. It's got to be around the front so I can roll out. Okay.
So Rooney, he has to be on the ground, on his back, and stop moving by the time you move over to him.
Okay.
Is this better? Yes, that's much better. Here we go, bag on. And roll. Ready? And action. Cut it. Nails. Cut. Cut. Back rep. Once you're through the door, can be a little while. Yeah. Good. The rest of it was great. We'll do one more. We'll have it. Ready and action.
What happened with Wennerstrom? How did he get you?
I was stupid. I ran with something I got from what I thought was a reliable source. It wasn't. It was fabricated. It was easily proved in court.
You don't think you were set up?
Of course I was. I allowed myself to be. What?
Nothing.
Tell me. What?
Someone does that to you, you blame yourself. Someone promises to make it right, doesn't. Fuck these people.
There's nothing I can do other than what I do. Can you do something more vivid?
You were quite emphatic that the way I looked into your life was illegal and immoral. But would you feel the same about Wennerstrom? I was investigating him on my own when you showed up. I haven't had a chance to look at it all because you and Harriet fucking Wenger have kept me busy. But I may have something.
You may have something.
Cut. Very nice. Take that one.
What are we gonna do about these fucking sheep?
Ready, and action.
What happened with Wennerstrom? How did he get you?
I was stupid. I ran with something that I thought was from a reliable source, but it wasn't. It was fabricated.
You don't think you were set up?
Of course I was, but I allowed myself to be. What?
Nothing.
Tell me.
I was investigating him on my own when you showed up. I haven't had a chance to look at it all because you and Harriet fucking Wenger have kept me busy. But I may have something.
You may have something?
Cut it. Get him out of the rain. Cut. Okay, let's wait here for a second.
Yeah, it's gonna blow over.
Now you're a fucking weatherman?
Good. Okay. Here we go.
You may have something.
Good. Keep it rolling once again.
Still rolling.
Start again. New cigarette. Tilt up. Ready. And cut it. Cut. Going out of the rain. Okay, and it's passing.
Go.
It's a passing fancy. All right, let's go inside for 10 minutes.
Oh, it looks like it stopped.
Let's do this thing.
Okay, let's shoot this. Please,
Wait, I'm downloading
here
for
we go.
Plane.
Shit.
The ones
And can we put up something that keeps the water off right directly behind them? The water that's actually dripping past their heads, the really big drop. I think we got to take a broom and just get some of the water off that edge. Okay, Daniel, half an inch to your right. There, just like back a bit. There you go. Ready, and action.
What?
Someone does that to you, you blame yourself. Someone promises to make it right, doesn't. Fuck these people.
There's nothing I can do other than what I do. You do something more vivid.
You were quite emphatic that the way I looked into your life was illegal and immoral. But would you feel the same about Wennerstrom?
Cut it.
Cut.
Rainbow.
Quick. Double rainbow.
Double rainbow? Oh my god! What does it mean?
Let's go. Let's shoot. Is it? Rain's go. Let's go. Here we go. Come on. No way to fake this.
And roll it.
You good? Shit, never mind. Rain's back. Cut it. Okay, rain subsided! Double rainbow! Guys, that's around. It's nice, isn't it? And action.
In the current issue of Millennium magazine, he now charges the same company that successfully sued him, the Vinnerstrom Group, of criminal activities on a global scale, backing it up with internal financial reports, bank records, and emails. Annotations almost as long as the article itself.
Now the shit hits the fan.
Good, and a little more sinister. Good, a little more sinister than that. Good, once again, bring chin up just a teeny bit and even darker. Cut it, moving on.
There is a transformation that she goes through later in the film where she's actually playing another character. She's disguised as another character, and it's incredible to see that, I think. You know, because you've been watching her in this Lisbeth mode, and now you see how Lisbeth interprets a different character and plays a different character. And it goes back and forth from, you know, from the disguised character to the real character, you know, back and forth, scene, you know, one, the other, and it's fascinating.
Got it, cut. Reset. A little bit more relaxed with the eyes, just a little more forward. Okay.
What was funny was at that point when we finally shot Irene Nesser, Rooney was so into Salander that she just hated Irene Nesser. Whereas originally Irene Nesser was so much closer, because I tried to keep some of, like, she loves like the kind of blush champagne-y colors. So I tried to keep some of that in there. And but it was just funny because by the time we got to it, she's like, I hate this wig, I hate these clothes, you know, because she's like, I can't believe I'm wearing a dress, you know. But then in the scene, she totally gets it. Like the walk changes, her stand changes, her attitude just changes. She did such a great job.
Vanessa will take your passport.
Welcome to the Dolder Grind, miss. May I have your passport, please?
That has probably been the worst part of making this movie, is having to play Irene. I hate it. Like, I'm miserable. I'm in the worst mood. Anytime I have that wig on, I'm like ready to kill someone. I just hated it. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm like so used to being this way now that the second that I have to put on like a full face of makeup and look pretty or whatever, I can just feel so uncomfortable.
You're looking at the mirror, you take these off, put them in there, it doesn't matter whether they go down or not, because we won't see it. We pan, you're gonna turn immediately, walk over, start taking off the necklace, which shouldn't be like that, it should be like that. Take off the necklace, take a paper towel, wrap it all up into a wand, throw it in there, turn an exit frame going right.
You want me to throw in that wand?
I need to somehow see the necklace coming off, which I didn't see. So, Rune, start by pushing the hair back, and then when you walk over, peel the thing out so I can see it. I mean, not too David Copperfield, but... Okay, David Blaine. Okay, good. Here we go.
And roll, please. We're rolling. Tail slating.
We used a lot of like Dior and Gucci. Simple jewelry, just diamond pieces, nice simple rings, and just keep her really kind of chic and classic. Definitely have her look moneyed, have her look like you're not really sure about how she's quite so wealthy. So it could be like, you know, she married money, or she's, you know, got that trust fund.
I could fit in there.
The pay,
You think I would suffocate?
No. I give you $10 to go there.
Well, I know you have to let me out because you have to pay.
Don't freak out. I put these back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for my passport, I don't have these in. Like,
did you have that in?
I did, but I was wearing a hat, so I don't know if you saw it or not.
But more importantly, was it actually there?
This?
Yeah.
It was there. But I don't know if you saw it because the hat.
then it doesn't matter. As long as it was there, then I can say what was there. Just for how
So she just like can't live without her eyebrow piercing. She like has to put it in the section.
It's a tick. Yeah. She has way more problems than that in terms of. That's the least of her issues. She's related to a fucking 7-foot tall albino.
I mean, sort of the way I feel once I get deep into a script, I feel like I can put the character in any situation, you know, whether it was in a book or not, or any imaginary situation, and I'll know how they'll behave, I know how they'll talk, I know how they'll sound, and I'll know what they're really thinking instead of what they're saying. And I think Rooney's the same way. I think once she got the character, she could do anything. She could do any scene, any situation, and it would be natural.
Hold the wig up a little higher so we see it when she opens a window. And then when she gives her little look over past the A camera, tiniest smile. She's now billionaires.
It's part of the character, really, to assume disguises or, you know, different behaviors in order to accomplish something.
Margaret.
Take one.
Margaret. Just happen to make it make a 3.
And I'm making one.
I'll turn it down a bit.
Rolling.
Great privilege and honor of working with David Fincher on a film called The Killer. I have the lead role in his film. To have a very small window of opportunity to go to work and then to be able to work with one of the best filmmakers out there, it was just a dream come true.
Ready, and Alrighty, moving on. So this is Lost, looking for, I've got this address. Here we go.
It felt really good to go back to work. The film that I'd done before that was just before lockdown, but that was 2019, so I was definitely ready to go back to work.
And Michael, as smooth as you can make it. Here we go.
With somebody of David's caliber, it was a very special opportunity for me. Quite a few locations over a 5-month period.
Good, very nice. We'll do one more. Don't go down with your eyes. So it's like, this is, did I get the thing? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got the address right, but it's not here.
What was interesting for me was taking the experience from what we're doing on track and bringing it on set, especially with somebody like David who films very precisely and everything is, you know, dealing in fractions in terms of how you deliver things and movement and exactly how the frame is occupied, if you will.
Just a look at the bottom of it or look at the reflection in the road.
You have to step on and deliver in a period of time. And David, he's looking for perfection and to do that within a take. However long that take is, it might be 40 seconds, it might be 6 minutes long, but within that time frame, you're looking to do everything exactly as it should be.
I want to see the top of the plate. There we go.
You've taken on board all the notes, and there's plenty of them to digest, but in the moment when you're trying to deliver those notes, you're not thinking at all. It was a real honor. I felt like I learned a lot from him. It was a full-on shoot, very long hours and sometimes 6-day weeks, so there was literally not enough time for me to get into a car and do any training whatsoever.
Cut, very nice.
So we wrapped up the film in LA end of March, and I got directly on a flight the next day and then came straight to the track.
Hope you enjoyed your behind the scenes look. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you here next time. Later.
For 100 years, sound in cinema has been the smoothing element to transition from one idea, one scene to the next. What if it wasn't that? What if it was very jarring? What if you became aware the movie's making progress, it's gone to another place?
Anytime the camera cuts to a different angle, we wanted the sound to reflect that change.
In order to put you in his head when he has the earbuds in, the music has to blare. So we put the VO only over shots where we're looking at Michael.
Anticipate, don't improvise.
The tension or sense of anxiety can be created just with sounds or sounds going away. I love the Dominican Republic sequence just because of all the aggressive noises that are in there. Sounds of ugly motorbikes and noise pollution. It gives a sense of tension. When we meet the taxi driver and we get into his cab, we wanted to create this piece of plastic that's separating these two people. We wanted to feel the sound shifting through there, but that wasn't recorded in a car, it was recorded on a soundstage. So we had to create all of the sounds. We wanted to make this the world's quietest fight.
Because it's an assassin killing an assassin. And they know neither of them wants to be standing there with the Florida Police Department going, and why did this guy break into your house?
It was really important to demonstrate the physical differences between these two assassins. We wanted to feel the weight of this very heavy man pushing and prodding so the whole house is moving. It creates this incredibly anxious, intense sequence. We really wanted the audience to feel uncomfortable or question yourself. Why am I feeling this way?